Hello, everyone, and welcome to Triton Cup 48. I am Broken Pinky, joined here by Vanny, and we're about to get into this grand Splatoon tournament. Vanny, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty okay. I got my cup of tea on board and I'm ready to see a hopefully exciting tournament.
Yeah, we got some good stuff coming ahead. We have Tri-Stringer versus Fallen Xquids as our first set of the day, and we're going to be starting these off on Splatoon Sturgeon. Again, this is a Splatoon's only tournament, but starting things off on Sturgeon's Shipyard. Vanny, what do you have some thoughts on the stage?
I really like this one actually. It's been one of my favorites since Splatoon 2. Um, yeah, obviously a map where sloshers are pretty strong, and we know Machine is also pretty good right now, and we've seen it a lot since the release of Splat 3. So yeah, maybe we're gonna see the double Machine from one of these teams. And or maybe a regular slosher or even a slosher deco with the funny zipcaster.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, but of course, pretty much everything can work heal. Leader's pretty devastating if they hit their shots, and I think it's a pretty good map where almost everything can work very well. So I'm excited to see how these teams play it out.
Yeah, like you said, pretty much anything can work on Sturgeon. It's a great crab map, it's a great leader map, it's a great bucket map, as you said. Slosher and Machine are both on the rise in the meta, as well as Xplosher just being a generally great pick for zones. We'll probably see a lot of Xplo today just because of that, because it's just kind of dominating on zones with how much you can just output paints. But I think it really is going to be a tale of a few crabs, because if you get a crab on specific lockout spots on Sturgeon, like on that snipe area, it can just be so devastating.
Yeah, exactly. The enemy team just cannot move for 8 seconds straight up. And especially if you're in that last few seconds of the zone ticking down, a crab tank in a good spot can absolutely shut down the game and close it out here.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing about Sturgeon is that it's kind of a long way from spawn to mid. It's not as long as some older stages like Moray Towers, but it's still quite a journey, which means if you have 10 points left in that zones timer, it'll probably tick down before you can get to the zone from your spawn. So you really have to be careful to be proactive with your pushes and to not get locked out so you can actually make it to the zone in time.
Yeah, but I'm pretty confident these two teams both know what they're doing in that regard. And
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting to see what strategies they do come up with.
Yeah, exactly. All the weapons that can come into play here, all the just competent ideas and strategies. We'll probably see a few crabs just because that's the nature of this meta, but like you said, buckets are really good, leaders really good, there's a lot of good options on this stage. Someone might even pull out the flings for some missiles. There's really a lot that can succeed on Sturgeon.
Yeah, or we're gonna see one of the teams, or even both, which I would absolutely approve, go completely off meta without crab tanks. I wouldn't complain about it, but it's not that likely to happen. But yeah, we're gonna
I mean,
see what these teams do come up with.
yeah, exactly. And I would imagine that, Tri-Stringer is probably going to bring a Tri-Stringer of their own, true to their name, but Fallen Squids, we don't really have a lot of intel on them. It's going to be interesting. This is the first set of the tournament. We're going to get a lot of intel on what these teams are going to try to run, if we see them in the future potentially, and just what are the kinds of strategies that are going to start working here in this Splatoon's only tournament.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, with that being said, we should be close to getting everyone readied up in this lobby, squared away into game one. But just looking on through the set, we do have some great maps in the other modes. We have Flounder, which is a bit of a controversial one, as well as Undertow. We have some split zones maps to be looking forward to once we get done with our Foray and Sturgeon. But with that being said, it is battle time. Here we go, game one between Tri-Stringer and Fallen Xquids on Sturgeon. Let's take a quick look at these comps to see what we're working with.
See the sloshing machine, the splash-o-matic, no double splash. And did I see that right? A Clash Blaster on the side of Fallen Squids?
A
What do you
Clash
think about
Buster.
that pick? Because I haven't seen that weapon being played in comp in a while.
I've seen a few people dare to bring the Clash Blaster out on this stage, and it makes sense, with the very close corners, but I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that gear, and that Clash gets picked off immediately, but it's just this Ink Brush alive on the zones for Fallen Squids. And they're probably gonna get pushed
The
out, but they
brush
actually get the
does
double,
get too
trying to get
big.
the triple. Gets the
The brush
triple to
gets
start off.
3 picks, but eventually goes down here. But great start from the Ink Brush here.
Yeah, triple is definitely a strong way to start, but Triton has his own right now. Fallen Squids is starting to file back in. They lose the lead, but it's only to 82 from 85, but players are just going down all over the place. No team is really able to get a secure control in the zone.
Yeah, we just see a lot of picks and trades happening here. And no team has really been able to establish control or get a clear win in a team fight here, as it's just been back and forth with trades and fights. And once again, 1 down on each side, 2 down on each side. But the zone does start to tick down in favor of Fallen Xquids, and the Crab Tank gets a crucial pick here. And this might be their opportunity to start off into a first stronghold.
I think that counts as a first team fight won. And now Fallen Squids are starting to push in. The splash is not of the crab online, but that's 3 dead for Drystringer. Glass Flasher is the last one, trying to make some magic happen. Gets the pick on the splash. Very well done, but they're going to go down just as quickly. And right now there's just such a strong hold being done on the zone in mid. It's so hard for this Purple team to just make it back in there. Fallen Squid's really trying to make something happen, but this zone timer is ticking down fast. They have to make something happen, and they do get it at the 1-point marker, quickly flipping it, saving the game for themselves.
Yeah, and now 3 down on the side of Tristringer. It's only the Ink Brush left. But the Ink Brush, as it's known for, might do some Ink Brush shenanigans and just run in and distract multiple people. As we see it on the right, gets a trade, and the bomb kills 2 or 3 people. That was a great bomb by the shot, and that's a full wipe onto Tristringer. And now Fallen Squids has a good opportunity to set up this hold with a Crab Tank on the snipe, just as we talked about. And the Crab Tank actually gets a pick onto the T-Tech. So these Ink Strikes will be very, very late.
That bomb double really just cascaded it, and Tristringer just has a really strong hold of the zone right now, and they're just boxing Fallen Squids out. 3 dead. It's a delayed triple. 52's wailing, trying to stay alive, gets the pick on the splash. 52's making his way back to zone, but gets picked off. There's a jump behind. The jump gets spotted, gets taken out, and Drystringer is very close to getting this knockout. There's only 2 alive for Fallen Squids, and neither of them can tank particularly well, and they're both trapped in spawn, and that's going to do it for game 1, going to Drystringer very handedly.
Yeah, very well done by Tristringer here. I think what really was a problem for Fallen Squids is that they, once they started staggering, they never really stopped doing so, and they kind of just always went 1 or 2 down and never had the opportunity to push into the zone with 4 people up, and constantly fighting this 4v3, 4v2 is just not gonna work out in the long run, which we just saw here. And especially when that zone is ticking down so quickly and that penalty is melting away, you just start to panic, and maybe that's what was the problem for Fallen Squids here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there was just so much pressure being put on Fallen Squids, and Tristringer was just winning so many of these engagements and so many of these team fights, and I mean, that's what won game 1, and now we're going to be going on to game 2, which is going to be on Zones Flounder, and this is a very controversial map, so I'm very curious what your opinions are on it.
I think the main problem is that most people play it like a Splatoon 3 map, even though it doesn't work like the other Splat 3 maps, which all or most of them with only one way into mid. And on Flounder we have these multiple angles to approach, which of course makes it easier to get into mid, but also makes coordination incredibly important, so you don't just run into mid alone and die. So yeah, I think coordination is one thing that's gonna really decide who comes out on top of this game.
I could not agree with you more. It's a great design map. It's not really, but you can't really play it like a Splatoon 3 map. You can't just wait, charge your crab, use your crab to go forward, wait, charge your tri-strikes, throw your tri-strikes to go forward. You really have to be creative with how you push in, and again, like you said, you have to be coordinated with how you push in. You can't just blindly rush in recklessly, because you can be spotted on those walls and just get picked off, or you can just get staggered by your ramp. It's a map that really rewards creativity and coordination, as you said, and the team that can push in the best and has the best hold is the team that's going to win, but there's a lot of counter options for Flounder Heights if you know the map well enough and if you know how to play it right. So, I mean, this is going to be interesting for both of these teams. Tristringer is on set point here. They're up 1-0. So if they win this game, they take the set. So Fallen Squids is going to have to make something happen. Going to have to win this game to stay in the set. It's going to be interesting to say the least.
Yeah, as you said, pushing up is incredibly important and controlling as much of the map as you can. But obviously, on a map with so many flank routes like Flounder Heights, you also have the problem that if you push up too far, you're really weak to flanks. And on this map, you can flank on so many different ways that a good flank can just flip the zone behind you and you don't even realize it.
Yeah, exactly.
And there we see the Tristringer from Tristringer coming out.
And the Clash is swapped for a Luna, so I guess Nario is just a dedicated blaster player, and we're gonna see this Luna is gonna get some more advantage than that Clash Blaster did with that, you know, much more potent kill time, and that Zipcaster being really strong. But both of these teams are immediately going for their own zone. We don't really see any flanks. We do see some play in Trench from Tristringer. It doesn't have them the first pick on that Luna. This Crab is going to get one, though, and Fallen Squids is going to be the first to cap the zone, and they have the man advantage pretty handedly.
Yeah, this was a clear first teamfight win in favor of Fallen Squids. With two specials online, the Price Strikes being used, this Booyah Bomb is not going to live that. The Whale does come out early, and this Tri-Strike I think is completely wasted as the bow goes down. And now the T-Tick just threw the strike out of the window, the splash goes down, and now this is looking really, really bad for Tristringer. As Fallen Squids has taken good control of their side of the map, and Luna Blaster gets an amazing trade here. And that's 2-2 on the field. The Killer Whale does come out from the bow, but don't really push with it. And now the points are taken down, and it starts to hurt as we get into the below 20 mark, and the machine goes down. And now it's looking really, really bad for Tristringer. If they can't flip the zone in the next few seconds, I think that's gonna be it.
It's looking rough for Tristringer here. Fallen Squids is just having so much control here. Tristinger's not really coordinating off their specials like they need to be. It's 3 versus 3 though. They can outpaint Fallen Squids if they can just stay alive for a little bit, but they keep getting pushed back. The Whale is getting completely side targeted, completely wasted by the one in the street. Tristringer finally controlled their own zone though, but it's 2 versus 2 in a battle to get the last zone, and the splash goes down. It's just the Stringer alive for Tristringer. They get
and that's a
taken out.
great pick, and that's a machine, and that's going to be the game. If the machine doesn't come up big here,
that's gonna be it. There's nothing Tristringer can do. There's still so much control in their zone from
they're
Fallen
trying to
Squids
paint it,
and
but
nothing
that's
to do it.
going to be it. And Tristringer loses the second game, so we're now at 1-1 match point for both teams. And now this was the complete opposite of game number 1, where Fallen Squids just got pushed back into their base so much. But now, once they took control of these zones and the ramp of Tristringer, they never really let go of it, and Fallen Squids played that really, really well. Just flipping the game around and just constantly staggering the enemy team here. Nicely done by them.
Yeah, I mean, Fallen Squids did pretty much exactly what Tristringer did to them in game 1, and I mean, this has been a pretty dynamic set. These have been 2 really quick games, and I mean, I guess that just sets the tone of just the pace of this set and perhaps the tournament to come. But with that being said, like you mentioned, Vanny, Tristringer and Fallen Squids are both 1-1. We're moving on to a game 3 winner take all on zones Undertale. What do you think of this stage?
Your typical Splatoon 3 map, and maybe that favors Tristringer, as we saw them struggle on the not so Splatoon 3-ish stage that Flounder Heights is. But also maybe Fallen Squids has a strong strategy here, and especially that blaster that they have constantly come up with maybe gets them a bit of value here with all the ledges that you can poke the blaster around with. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to see how these teams play it out in a match point. I mean, we all love close sets, and it's not that common for a round 1 set to go to a game 3 in a tournament. So I'm definitely happy that these two teams seem to be very even with each other.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's pretty uncommon for a round 1 set to go to game 3. You normally just see one team kind of get stomped by the other, and I mean, even in the other parts of the bracket we're seeing that, but Tristringer and Fallen Squids are keeping it close. They're keeping their composure, keeping neck and neck with each other. It's going to be interesting to see. And I like that you commented that Undertow is a pretty solid blaster map, but I do think it favors the longer range blasters a lot more, such as Range Blaster, even some of the Rapids prefer a lot more than Luna. And Nario has been using mostly these short range blasters, Luna and the Clash, and I don't know how strong those are going to be on Undertow when you can't really poke the charger that well, but we're going to see. We're going to be going into game 3 here. Winner take all between Triton and Fallen Xquids. Going to be going on Splatoon's Undertow. Let's take a look at these comps as we head into match point.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see also if this is going to be another quick game or if it's going to be a lot closer, because both of the games that we just saw have been very fast, and we see the tenacity on the Splash-O-Matic, very convinced here that they're gonna live a lot and not die much, and we see the Custom Junior come out on the side of Tri-Stringer, but they immediately go 2 down, and it's a 3 versus 2 advantage for Fallen Xquids here, as they take early control of that zone and push back this Custom Junior.
Yeah, but more importantly, Fallen Xquids is bringing out the Hydra. Nario's not playing Blaster on this map. They went from a short-range Blaster to a Hydra Splatling, which is definitely a shift to say the least, but it's working out well for Fallen Xquids here. They pushed it down to 66, but right now Tri-Stringer has control of one of the zones, and they have control of both finally. They're trying to move forward a little bit. They have the man advantage here, but this 52 is just being annoying on their zone, and it's so hard to get decisive control on Undertow. It's what's so annoying about this map.
Yeah, how do you feel about double zone maps in general? Because I'm not a big fan of them. I think Piranha Pit in Splatoon 2 was the only double zone map that did it well. So
I don't know.
what do you think about them in general?
I think double zones maps are cool concepts, but just the way that the way that Undertow is laid out, I feel like it's not great for it. I would kind of rather they took down a bit of that ridge and mid and made it all one big zone. Well, not necessarily as big as something like Eeltail, but I still think something from Eeltail could be taken note of. But anyway, Fallen Xquids are 3 dead right now. It's just the 52 left alive, left in a corner. The Treasurer is going to back out. 52 is still alive, fighting for their life against this Custom Junior.
But I don't think this whale was a good idea, and they do go down with the whale being burned. So this whale is going to take a while to charge, and that's going to be a big advantage for Triton, as they also take down the Hydra Splitting. Good play by the machine here.
Yeah, and Tri-Stringer has the lead once again at 58 points, but they're 2 down.
They go down.
Fallen Xquids are going to get the zone right back, stack up some of that penalty. 52
and
gets the nice
wipe
on the splash. Beautiful
play. That's a delayed wipe.
Yeah, 52 is pushing up really aggressively right now, trying to take as much space as possible. Gets the pick on the Custom Junior over the ledge.
An amazing pick.
Shot
That's
RNG working in the 52 favor, and here comes this Crab to just extend this push and extend this aggression as the lead's about to switch.
That was a great play by the 52, and we now see the lead being switched in favor of Fallen Xquids, but the VDS do go down. The Hydra has to use the Booyah Bomb to stay alive. It's a 2-2 situation. The bow is being pushed. The question is, can the bow live? The bow lives. But the zone isn't flipped.
The zone
pain comes for the zone.
Oh, the bomb gets...
Oh, that's a great bomb.
Yeah, it's a great bomb from the Dually Sculptors and Fallen Xquids. And Fallen Xquids is below this 30-point mark. They're getting really close to this knockout. The Crab is going to try and defend it. Gets to pick on the Dualies. And Tri-Stringer's trying to file back in. There's the 2 dead. That's what they need to get this zone back. But both zones are just being pressured. But the 52 goes down, and Tri-Stringer finally has controlled the zones once again.
Yeah, this Hydra is in a really strong position, though, for Fallen Xquids. They get the pick onto the splash, so the Crab Tank is gonna be late, and this Booyah Bomb comes out onto the zone. Contested, but does not cap the zone. And the Hydra goes down to the bow. That's really bad for them.
Yeah, that was a really nice snipe from the bow. You don't see one-shots incredibly often, but Tri-Stringer, true to their name, is good at their weapon. They do get the cap, but it's 2 versus 3 in the favor of Fallen Xquids. Nice being the Dually Sculptors to try and even the odds a little bit, but Tri-Stringer still has the disadvantage here. They're finally all respawned, and they need to work together to get this zone back, but this has been such a back-and-forth game, and we're going into the last minute of the match here.
The way it does come out, this places the bow, and 2 go down on the side of Tri-Stringer. And the bow cannot paint the zone effectively. The bow is last, and the bow has to back up. So now that's a great opportunity for Fallen Xquids to just take space, build up control, get these specials. There does the Booyah Bomb come out from the Hydra. And the machine dies! This is really bad, but they trade it out for the VDS. And right now, this might be one of the last chances for Triton to push into the zone, but they can't get the jump. They have 2 jumps. The penalty is low, and it's just below 20 seconds left in the game. Can Triton get the
right
zone?
now? The Hydra's just defending so well. Everything's coming out. Fallen Xquids is just defending this so solidly. The Hydra of the Anger is just so incredibly annoying for them. Hydra's backing up a little bit, but do they have enough time to get both zones? They do! We're going into overtime. It's neutral though. Fallen Xquids has the advantage, has the ability to get the zone if they can just paint a little bit. The zones are being contested. Fallen Xquids is so close to getting it. They need a little more and they get it. Fallen Xquids takes it over Tri-Stringer 2-1, an incredibly tight round 1 set.
Yeah, that was a great set, especially for game 1. I did not expect such a close set. Just because it's unusual for tournaments for round 1 to be that close, but that was a great set to watch. And Fallen Xquids do come out on top here. So definitely congratulations to them as they complete the reverse sweep.
That is a great way to start at this tournament with just already a very tight first set. Fallen Xquids lost game 1 pretty convincingly, but they turned on the Jets and they were ready to respond and they take it over to Tri-Stringer and they stay in winners.
Yeah, we saw these 2 first games be extremely fast-paced, where one team just locked out the other. But this third game was just a back and forth and both teams could have had it, but Fallen Xquids just came out on top with a little bit of the better end for them.
Yeah, just a little bit tighter play from Fallen Xquids to end it out. So well played to get the set in their favor.
Maybe we'll see a rematch of this set later on in the tournament. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of Fallen Xquids because, especially that second game looked strong, and in the third game they really showed that they got their nerves on point and played it well together.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just incredibly well played from Fallen Xquids. It's hard to just retain your presence of mind after losing a pretty dominant game 1, but that's what they did, and that's what won the set, and that's what they had it over. But with that being said, don't go anywhere because we're going to be going on a quick short break before our next round, so make sure not to go anywhere because this fun Splatoon action is not going to stop anytime soon.
Yep. And we're both looking forward to the next set, I think.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Triton Cup 48. And after a tense round 1 match, we are looking at winners round 2, where we have Soresu versus Ikaryoku. I am Broken Pinky and I am joined here by Vanny.
Hello, it's good to be back after sorry for the cough. After a very close first set that we just saw, we're now looking forward to this set that's gonna start out on Splat Zone's Mako Mart. What do you think of that map?
Splatoon's Mako Mart is one of the most true neutral stages in this game, and what I mean by that is that if there's a weapon that's good in the meta, it's gonna be great on Mako. Like, there's very few things that are bad on this map, unless they're just flat out bad weapons. I mean, Crab is phenomenal on this map. Machine is phenomenal on this map. Leader, this is one of the less good leader maps because you do have a lot of cover to deal with, but still, backlines are pretty solid on this map for determining the pace. But what are your thoughts on this stage?
I actually really like Mako Mart, but that also might be because I'm a Tetra player, and in my opinion at least, the map is great for Tetras because you can just rush the stacks so easily. And speaking of Tetra duelies, I know that one of the players on Soresu, Noodles, is in fact a duelie and Tetra player, so we might be seeing either the duelies for the Crab Tank or the Tetra duelies for that sheer aggression that this weapon provides on this map. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing them play.
It's so refreshing to see duelies being pretty solid weapon picks after Splatoon 2 or endgame Splatoon 2, where they just kind of died out. But I mean, Splat duelies are a good alternate crab weapon. Tetras are carving out a niche of their own. Duelie squelchers are able to do a lot of different things. They're very versatile weapons. So I don't know, duelies are definitely, I wouldn't say they're the best class in this game. I wouldn't say they're all top tier, but there's a lot of pretty solid duelie options to choose from. And honestly, I think it's a great thing. You know, some nice weapon diversity. But with that being said, here we go. Game 1 between Soresu and Ikaryoku for winners round 2, and we're going to be starting things off on Zone's Mako Mart. Let's take a look at these comps. We see another bow
once again, and a double duelie comp on the side of Soresu. That's interesting.
Yeah, both pretty interesting comps. Ikaryoku going with the more standard play, you know, Splash Junior machine, but they do have a bow, which has been sort of picking up steam lately as a solid craft counter. But Soresu going with the double duelie, and one of the duelies is already flanking and already getting a pick on the Junior. These Tetras are already behind, and that's a wipeout for Soresu to open things off, and Ikaryoku are all coming for spawn in just the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's a great opening for Soresu. So the VDF do go down. The resetter does go down as well, because that's just how the special works. And yeah, we see a lot of QR on the side of Soresu. So that might be their strategy, to just run over the opposite team with the sheer amount of quick respawn to overwhelm them that they can't deal with it. Especially since both Machine and Tri-Stringer are pretty slow weapons that the fast-paced QR duelie comp might be pretty good against.
Yeah, exactly, but these duelies are just both all far up in the left area of the map, and this zone timer is ticking below 10. These Tetras are not stopping to flank. They finally get taken out, but the distraction was enough, and Soresu takes game 1 over Ikaryoku.
And that was a convincing first game, starting out with a great play by the Tetra duelies on the right side. And then they just never let go of that zone and just held it all the way down to 0. A great play by Soresu. And now we have to see how Ikaryoku tries to recover from that.
Soresu is up 1-0, and this is a best-of-3 series. If they win this game, then they win the set, and they stay in winner's bracket. Ikaryoku's on the back foot here. They have to try and find something that works after just being completely run over. I don't know if they even capped the zone once. Soresu just had complete control over that game, but like I said, the onus is on Ikaryoku, and they're gonna have to try and find a response on Zone's Hagglefish. What do you think of this stage?
Yeah, Hagglefish, one of my least favorite maps, because I personally don't like the very open mid that the map has. But I still think it's a pretty good stage with 2 solid flank routes, but also and the bow from Ikaryoku might thrive in this open area in the middle of the map. But also these double dually team comps or the double dually team comps that we've seen from Soresu might also come up big with these 2 good flank options. And especially Tetra dualies can take great advantage of that flank.
Yeah, the flank options on the stage are very strong, and that really helps the aggressive playstyle that Soresu has been going for. It's just so easy to get behind the enemy team, and with Tetris, once you're behind the enemy, that's all you really need to just cause a ruckus and just distract 3 people at once and get a pick for your troubles as well. And I mean, that's just the big value of Tetris in this meta, is you can just sneak behind, force attention on you, and just be so annoying and allow your team to push forward off of that dive. But I mean, that's something that Soresu did a really good job of doing in game 1, and that Ikaryoku really struggled to respond to. But that being said, Ikaryoku has to respond as we're going to be going into game 2. Soresu on match point.
Yeah, step 1 for Tetras. Step 1, rush behind the enemies. Step 2, get 2 people on you. Step 3, tell your team to run in. Step 4, profit. And there's the double splash from Soresu, and the double dualies, and still a lot of quick respawn.
Yeah, but we're finally seeing our first Explo on the game coming, or Explo of the tournament coming from Ikaryoku. First of many, most likely, because as I said in the beginning, Explo is just super good in zones. But it's a pretty even neutral right now. The Tetris are dead for Soresu, but as part of the process, they already have QR active pretty early on. But nice pick from the junior on one of the splashes, and Ikaryoku now has control of the zone, and they have Soresu 3 dead. It's just those dually squelchers that they're trying to snuff out, but very strong opening for Ikaryoku.
Yeah, Soresu has been staggering very badly in the opening here, and now they're looking for an answer, but the splash already dead, and that's gonna mean that they only have 1 crab tank for the retake, which is gonna be popped on the 10. Rooster does come out, finds the pick onto the machine, but the question is, can they take the zone? They can.
They took the zone off of that beautiful play from the Tetris, getting the double, getting the Booyah with the Reef Explosion, but the DS goes down with the jump tech, not quite enough to evade the rain. And as soon as Soresu gets the zone, Ikaryoku gets it right back, and they're just continuing this hold over Soresu, and the splash is forced to jump out. The other splash is almost at a crab, and this crab is not accomplishing a whole lot, and Soresu's really struggling to get back into mid.
Yeah, after a great first game by them, we really see Soresu struggle here on this more open map. The Tetra does go down, but finds a trade onto the 52. But right now, they are struggling, and it might be because the map is so much more open than Mako Mart.
Yeah, these open maps make it a lot easier to see these sort of flanks coming, and I mean, that's what Ikaryoku's been doing, that's how they've been responding, but this X-Flow does get picked off. That is the backline gone for Ikaryoku, which is really good for Soresu. They really have to be pushing up aggressively here, trying to take space, but the machine gets the dually sculptures over the tent just with those lob shots, and Soresu's forced to back up just a little bit. This crab is being forced into a corner onto the other splash player, and that just leaves 1 in the zone. The zone is still in the favor of Soresu, but it's still a battle in mid to just try and maintain control.
We see the Explosion trying to contest the zone. They stop the zone at 39, 1 point before the lead switches, and they can actually cap the zone here. Nicely done by the Explosion, and now Soresu has to retake the zone once again and work through that penalty.
Tetris trying to just rush it without Reef Slider, but at the disadvantage of the special just leaves you in so many end lag frames. You're so vulnerable. The machine trying to go for the off-angle flank with the Booyah, throws it at the crab as soon as it disappears, but not quite able to get a pick. Now on a 1v1 with the splash. This 1v1 is huge, but the machine trades, and that's going to be the wipeout on Ikaryoku. Soresu just has 1 member left, and they're able to cap the zone, and there's only 2 minutes left in this game. Soresu has to make something count here if they want to get this lead.
Yeah, but they do pick off the Explosion, which is a great pick as the main long-range paint, and that's 3 down, and the Killer Whale already burned. The Whale gets a pick onto the Tetra, but doesn't get much value other than the pick on the Tetra, and that's not pick with great value either. We see the lead switching in favor of Soresu, and the Tetra is at this point just distracting two people. He gets the trade, and right now it's looking really bad for Ikaryoku. They really have to make a big play happen here in order to stay in this game.
Yeah, they just can't quite get the cap on the zone. It's just these splashes from Soresu is just keeping the zone in their favor, but the zone is mostly painted yellow. They have to hold on, but the crabs are just forcing them out. Soresu still has control of the zone, and that's going to do it. Soresu takes it 2-0 over Ikaryoku.
Yeah, after a very strong first game by Soresu, we saw them struggle a lot here and really just push Ikaryoku back in the latter half of the game. But that's when especially these Tetra duelies started to get a lot of value. And yeah, Soresu played it down really well, even though we saw them struggle a bit in the beginning.
I mean, Soresu, we kind of saw both sides of their team's strength. That game one where they just ran the other team down, in that game two where they were able to just use this Tetra to get back into a very lockout scenario. They were just kind of able to force their way in and bring teammates in after that, and the double crab was exactly what the doctor ordered to keep things going.
What do you think was the main problem that Ikaryoku had with not being able to contest the zone in the end?
I think the main thing is that they focused more on paint than on staying alive, and staying alive is very important in zones. I think if they were able to keep that machine a little further back throwing fizzies, if that 52 had a wall in zone or something of the sort, they could have gotten that cap back, but they got a little too aggressive. They rushed a little too much and they got picked off for it, and that's what lost them that game in my opinion.
Yeah, that's probably true. We saw them in the end just trying to paint the zone and not being able to stay alive to keep painting, and that might be why they lost that game. They still played really well in my opinion, especially in that first half of the game, but eventually Soresu took the game, and we have to say it's not an undeserved 2-0 for Soresu.
Yeah, Soresu played that incredibly well, and Ikaryoku played well in their own right. Like you said, they were pretty dominant for most of that game too, but Soresu was just able to force their way back into it. But with that being said, I believe we're going to be going onto a short break for round 3, so make sure not to go anywhere because these sets are going to keep on hitting for the rest of this tournament.
Yep, absolutely.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Triton Cup 48. We are in winners round 3. I am Broken Pinky, joined here by Vanny, and we have Kera and Chemistry versus Asylum here.
Yeah, we've seen two exciting sets before, so I think according to the trend, this set is gonna be an exciting one as well. Um, and we once again start out on MakerMart. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, we said it before, Make Mart is a pretty strong stage in this tournament. Wait, are we in round 3 or in round 2? I believe we're in round 3. I could be incorrect.
I'm not sure either, but either way, um, what what do you think can we expect from these two teams?
I mean, Make Mart, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Make Mart is a stage where pretty much anything can work really well. It's very diverse. There's a lot of stuff that works. If it works in the meta, it works on Mako. It's just such a true neutral stage. It's really a test of skill, I feel like. The better playing team is going to win on Zone Mako. And that's generally how it goes. But I think we're going to be going into game 1 shortly.
Arm roller and triple splash versus double splash and machine.
Definitely interesting comps. You know, you don't normally see. I think, yeah, they ended the battle. They realized their mistakes. There we go. Okay. We're in round 3. Apologies for that on our end. Just a little miscommunication, but we are going to be in winners round 3, and that means we're going to be starting on eel tail zones, which, I mean, for better or worse, maybe some teams would prefer to go with the round 2 match, but regardless, we're going to be starting on eel tail zones. So, what do you think of this stage, Vanny?
I mean, what I dislike is the little approaches to mid that you have. What I like is the high ground just in front of the zones with the bridge where you can just drop onto the heads of somebody who is sitting in the zone unsuspecting. I think that's a pretty cool feature of the map. And getting that control of the enemy bridge is crucial on this map. But on the other hand, I really dislike the map because the zone is so hard to paint with
Yeah.
all these obstacles in it, and it's just such a big zone that it kind of feels like you can't even contest it sometimes.
Eel Tail's zone is hilarious because I feel like sometimes you get 2 people painting the zone and it takes 5 to 6 seconds for them to actually get the cap, just because it's so awkward. But regardless, we see Asylum sticking with their triple splash and machine, picturesque Splatoon 3 comp here versus the double splash machine and T-Tech on the side of Kera and Chemistry. So, I mean, hey, it's Splatoon 3. We see 3 crabs coming out already, and one of the splashes is dead, and the Tri-Strikes are coming to force him back, but it looks like Kera and Chemistry is the one to win the first team fight and get 3 down on the side of Asylum.
Yeah, nicely done by them. Now the last splash has to back up here to try and save that already half-charged crab tank. But the many burst bombs and fizzy bombs from Kera and Chemistry are gonna try to get that pick, or at least get some damage in. Now that we see the crab tank come out on both sides.
Yeah, crab.
But they go 3 down, and once again the splash is the last player alive, and now they go down as well.
Yeah, crab
It's
out
a
round
full
2.
wipe.
Gonna stick with Kera and Chemistry winning that, and they're just really starting to push in aggressively and trying to get that lockout. Zone points is going below 40, and there's another crab out already, and another set of Tri-Strike. These special spams are just insane, and the machine has the Booyah as well to boot.
Yeah, and now Asylum has to make something happen in these last 10 takes of the zone, but they can't quite get it as they go 2 down, 3 down. It's just the crab tank, and that's going to be a convincing first game for Kera and Chemistry. Nicely done by them.
Yeah, just a very strong, and very sturdy hold of zone that just didn't really let Asylum break through, and Asylum notably doesn't have a lot of tools to break through. They can just really barrage with crabs, but if the other team is not pushing, if the rest of the teammates aren't pushing with the crab fire, then there's not a whole lot that can be done from it, and that's why Asylum really struggled to get back into mid, and Kera and Chemistry takes game 1. It's now on set points.
Yeah, nicely done by them, and as you said, you need to follow up on that crab tank when it's popped, but that's just not gonna happen when your entire team is being completely pushed back. And yeah, Kara and Chemistry did a really good job on doing so in this first game. So I'm curious to see what Asylum comes up with to counter that strategy or that great first game that we've seen from Kara and Chemistry.
And we're going to be going on to game 2, which is going to be on Zone Scorch, which, I mean, we talked about Eeltail's zone being hard to cap. Scorch's zone is so obnoxious to cap just because there's just a ginormous tower in mid. I like to say that Scorch zones feels like the combination of kelp zones and humpback zones for Splatoon 2. And I mean, you drop into mid, you can't get out. You only have one way to enemy spot, and it's on a graded bridge. And it's just, there's a giant tower in the middle of the zone. It's a very difficult map to play on, but I mean, that just makes it all the more interesting for both these teams.
Yeah, exactly. And you really need to get on that top right side to take control of the enemy side of the map. But once you get there, especially a crab tank, it can be really hard to get that splash out of there. So yeah, I think it might come down to who gets a player up on the top right of the opponents first.
Yeah, Zone Scorch is a battle to get onto the enemy plat, and once you get onto the enemy plat, the game is kind of over. It's so hard to break through that, and we already saw the troubles that Asylum had breaking through Kara and Chemistry's hold. So, I mean, here we go. It's match point once again. If Kara and Chemistry win this game, they win the best of 3 series. We see a dually come out on the side of Asylum. Kara and Chemistry not opting to change it whatsoever, and this opening team fight is going to be so huge for dictating the pace and the momentum of this match.
Yeah, and both teams with a lot of chip damage, and we see those sub-power up burst bombs on both of the splashes for Kara and Chemistry. And the crab already comes out, but gets fought by the machine, but the machine does blow, and the crab tank can find 2 early picks here. There goes the second crab tank, and Kara and Chemistry builds up early control of the zone and the map.
Yeah, and Kara and Chemistry not quite able to make it across that bridge in time. The splash tried to get taken down, the machine forced a drop, but still 3 versus 3, and Kara and Chemistry has the respawn advantage that splashes back. The dualies come back a few seconds later, and Asylum really struggling to get back into mid. The Booyah Bomb on the machine is a special that Kara and Chemistry still has. Here comes the Crabs. The Crabs are online for Asylum. There's 2 of them coming out. The rest of the team is trying to push in, but this zone is just so massive, so difficult to cap. The strikes are just going to scare the Crabs away, but Asylum finally gets that zone back from Kara and Chemistry.
Yeah, if they wouldn't have gotten the zone cap here, that would have been really bad for them as they go 3 down again. And that's delayed full wipe. The machine is the first player on respawn right now. And at least they bought some time, but they really need to get out of that chokehold that Kara and Chemistry has been holding them in for the entire first game and also that first half of the second game. And they go 2 down again, and it's not looking good for Asylum right now. They need to come up with something in order to make it back to that zone in time.
Exactly, and I mean, as soon as Asylum got control of that zone, Kara and Chemistry took it right back, and here they are, Kara and Chemistry on that plat area, just being so annoying. It's just the dually with the crab left alive for Asylum, and they're so far away from the zone, it's so easy to pick off. Jumps are coming to him, but it's under 10 points left. Nice pick on Sleepy from the dualies, though. This could be what Asylum needs, but they need to cap this Texas-sized zone. It's so difficult to get all your paint on the ground here. They need to cap it. They're so close. It's 2 versus 2 in the zone. It's a battle for the zone. It looks like Asylum's gonna get it. They still don't have it somehow.
Oh, they finally have the cap. That's a big moment of relief right there after that massive team fight. And I like the term Texas-sized zone that you used there, because it really feels like it. This zone is so massive and so hard to paint. We saw that in the 5 to 10 seconds paint off that these teams just had. The crab tank does come out on the side of Kara and Chemistry, but we also see the first attempt to push onto the enemy's top right side by Asylum as Kara and Chemistry goes 3 down. the Splash-O-Matic is on the grade, close to that crab tank, and that might be an opportunity for them to get a good hold here.
Yeah, we are under 25 points here. Asylum is threatening a knockout of their own. If they get this lead back, they'll be in a phenomenal spot. Dooley gets the pick. That's 2 dead for Kera and Chemistry. 3 dead is just the machine. That's going to be the lead switch, and the machine is going to get taken down in this Booyah. That's the knockout for Asylum, and the set is tied 1-1. Beautiful comeback from Asylum there in the 11th hour.
Yeah, I did not expect that after a convincing first half of the game by Kera and Chemistry, where they really had Asylum in the chokehold. But once Asylum got out of there and got the opportunity to push back into mid, and especially take control of that top right side, from then on, it really went into their favor, and they did the exact same to Kera and Chemistry that they did to Asylum before, and it kind of snowballed into this great knockout. That was really well played by both teams, but especially that comeback by Asylum there is worth noting.
Yeah, and that is a big momentum swing for Asylum there. Barely avoided being knocked out, and just they had the stars aligned for them at the end, and they were just able to hold so strong in the enemy plat, and that's what we talked about. This is so devastating on Scorch. And now Asylum has all the momentum as we go into Game 3, which is going to be on Zones Museum. Finally a good Zones map this set. Fanny, what are your thoughts on the stage?
Yeah, once again, a zone that's difficult to cap with some weird thing in the middle that you need to paint the top off. So I'm not that big of a fan of it, but at least it's easier to cap than Scorch, so that's already an upgrade. But yeah, once again, it's a crab tank map. If you get a crab on the spinner on the opposing plat, or if you get a crab tank on the center of the zone, on top of that thingy, it can be already over, because these crab tanks can get insane value from these positions. And it might come down to who gets their crabs into the better spots first.
Yeah, like everything in Splatoon 3, it all begins and ends with Crab Tank. Neither of these teams are changing their comp from Game 2. And here we go. Going to be the last game of the set between Asylum and Kera and Chemistry. This is gonna be one for the books for sure. There's already some pain in zone. There's already a bit of a scuffle. This first cap isn't important, but this first team fight certainly is. If you can get someone on the enemy plat here, it's so difficult, but once you get there, it's difficult to deal with. And right now, Kera and Chemistry is being forced into their gallery area. Their specials are starting to come out, though, as they're trying to contest it, and they do get the zone. But they need to get some picks as well. Crab battle's happening, and it goes in favor of Kera. That's a huge momentum swing. How much can they convert it into?
Yeah, but no team has been able to take control of the enemy's plat, and right now it's just pain of a mid. But player for Asylum goes down, the machine goes down, and that's gonna be the zone for Kera and Chemistry. And now it's we see the Tritex come out. The Dooley barely gets the trade with the machine here. Nice play by them. And now it's a full wipe onto Asylum. That's really bad for them, because these Splash-O-Matics are going to have their crab tanks online on their plat, but the Splash dies early and can't get the crab up. It's 2 down.
These duelies are working overtime for Asylum. My goodness, they're just always just there getting picks, getting the crucial picks. They got the only pick on Kera and Chemistry in that one team fight. They got 2 to defend their plat, and Asylum off the way to the duelies is going to get control of that zone for the first time this game. How much can they convert it into? How much of a push can they get? The total is below 80 right now, but it's quickly going down fast. Crab versus machine happening on the left side. The Crab is going to win with support of the teammates. There's a little bit left over. Both Crabs are offline, but Kera and Chemistry gets the zone right back off of that man advantage, forcing Asylum to retreat.
Yeah, that was a great team fight by them. And now Asylum decides to retreat, jump out, save their specials, and try to make a retake together. We see another Crab Rave by Asylum. They get a pick, they get 2 picks, and that might be their opportunity to push into the mid. The Booyah Bomb does come out, and the Dooley has another Crab Tank at the ready, as I said, Crab Rave, but the machine dies to a bomb. That bomb was really well placed. And now we see Kera and Chemistry trying to push back to that zone, but the T-Ticks being pressured, and they go down. And now, right now, it's looking really, really bad for Kera and Chemistry as they get full wiped.
Yeah, that's a nice wipeout from Asylum, and they're really starting to push in. Crab is on the enemy spinner. Machine is poking the plant, but I think one from Kera and Chemistry trying to go for a flank. Nice pick from the Machine onto the opposing Machine. But the crabs are out. The Buya comes out to try and stop it, but it's not enough. But Asylum is too dead right now. They have to be careful. They're getting close to getting this lead back. They have to keep control of this zone. But the zone is going to go in favor of Karen Chemistry. And now Asylum has a hefty penalty to chew through. And Karen Chemistry gets 2 dead on Asylum. They're trying to maintain this advantage as much as possible. That's 3 dead. It's just the dualies for Asylum and the splash that comes from spawn. Karen Chemistry is doing really well in this team fight, and that's going to be the team fight 1 for them officially.
Yeah, that was a bloodbath, or I want to say an ink bath in the zone right now, with so many fights happening. And Karen Chemistry comes out on top. They get 2 picks with the bombs. That's great value for the T-Tech, as their penalty is taking down. This player in the corner is getting triple teamed, but they somehow do not die. But time is taken down for Asylum. They need to contest this zone right now in order to cap it and to stay in this game, but the splash goes down early, and that's 3 down. That's gonna be the game for Kera and Chemistry.
Game, set, and match. Kera and Chemistry takes it over Asylum, getting that comeback, or not quite getting that comeback, preventing the comeback from Asylum, actually, and just able to hold that zone ever so barely. The bombs from the Tenatech on Kera and Chemistry were just insane that game. So many amazing bomb kills were showcased, and that T-Tech was able to help Kera and Chemistry get all the way to that win and take down Asylum, put them in the losers bracket, and Kera and Chemistry is going to move on to winners round 4.
Yeah, also, once again, an exciting set and even more exciting matches. As we saw in 2 of these 3 games, the lead and the zone being flipped multiple times. And Kera and Chemistry comes out on top, but barely knocking out Asylum into the losers bracket.
Yeah, and Kera and Chemistry is going to move into top 12. I believe we're going to be in winners quarterfinals for our next set. But before we get there, we are going to be going on just a quick little break. Make sure not to go anywhere, because the sets have just been incredible for now. And now we're in the top 12 of this tournament. So there's going to be some amazing plays left to come. See you guys then.
Yeah. Stay tuned. We're going to be back soon.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Triton Cup 48. I am Broken Pinky, joined here by Vanny, and here we have winners quarterfinals, Kera and Chemistry versus Yo. How you feeling, Vanny?
I'm doing good. The only sad thing is my tea just went empty, but that does not matter because I think we have an exciting set in front of us that I'm honestly looking forward to casting alongside you.
Exactly. I mean, there's a lot on the line here. I mean, this is pretty deep into the winners bracket, and we just saw Kara and Chemistry get a very strong set win a few moments ago over Asylum, and now they're gonna be facing Yo on Brine Zones. I believe is the first map we have in this map mode, and we're in first to three wins. We are in best of 5 sets officially from this point on.
So yeah, these sets are going to take a little bit longer because we now have at least 3 games per set, which is just gonna pump up the excitement even more. And what do you think of zones on Brownwater Springs?
I think Zone's Bridewater would be a lot better if the map was like 50% bigger. Because it shares a lot of attributes with Inkblot, it's just tiny. So Leader, which we see on the side of Yo, is incredibly dominant here. And I mean, Prism is obviously going to be a huge fan of that because all of Kara and Chemistry are using incredibly short range weapons, but they do have the double crab. Yo does not have any crabs to speak of, but they do have the missiles coming out from the Flingza. First time we're seeing missiles on the stream all day, but this crab is going to come out from Kara and Chemistry to try and contest the zone. Here come the strikes as well, and the tiny zone is in favor of Kara and Chemistry, but it's still being contested in mid right now. This team fight is just not stopping, but two go down on the side of Yo, and the last are going to be forced to push at, or forced back by Kara and Chemistry. Yeah, Kara and Chemistry still has control of this zone right now, and Yo is just really trying to get something together, but they're two dead right now. This Leader and the 52 are the only alive, and this 52 is just alone on this right side. Leader's forced back a little bit as one from Kara and Chemistry is going to try and challenge them at spawn, and the Leader gets taken down, and the jumps are being camped. Kara and Chemistry pushing up incredibly far, and this is what makes Brine Water so difficult to deal with, is you can just get locked so deep in your spawn because of how far you can push. Crab is coming out, missiles are trying to stop it, but this zone timer is ticking down, and I believe we're below. We're just going down so quickly right here. I think we're under the 30-point mark. It's kind of hard to tell, but this is just going by so quickly. But this machine finally gets the pick on Kara on the splash. Yo finally controlled of the zone again, but 15 points is a hard mark to beat.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's zones, and once you really get control of that zone and the map, it can be hard to get back in. So a 15-point lead is not safe, but in Splatoon, nothing is safe. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how Yo is trying to, or is gonna try to hold that zone. But as it seems, they're not able to do that as they go 2 down and the tri-strikes cap the zone. Now the 2 last players from Yo have to jump out in order to stay alive. The Leader barely misses the shot onto someone in the zone. Unfortunately, does not find the pick. The killer whale does come out and now, but the 52 dies, and that's not a great start for them, as specials come out on the side of Kara and Chemistry. The Leader gets pushed back even further, the Flingza dies, and the penalty is slowly ticking down, and right now it's not looking good for Yo.
Yeah, Kara and Chemistry is so close to this knockout, they can practically taste it. Yo got so close to capping that zone, but Kara and Chemistry just kept it going. 2 dead on the side of Yo. Kara and Chemistry out of their penalty. 9, 8, 7, 6. We're going down. We're getting close to this knockout town. And that's going to do it for game 1, going to Kara and Chemistry over Yo.
Yeah, that was a convincing game by Kara and Chemistry. But at least Yo has more time than the other teams that we've seen play before to react now, because it's a best of 5 set, so they have one more game to experiment on what works against Kara and Chemistry. But I'm not sure if a change in the comp is really gonna matter too much, as the playstyle of Kara and Chemistry just seems very strong right now and difficult to deal with.
Yeah, all these short-range weapons are just really difficult for Yo to deal with. You would think that with the Leader, they could be able to space them out really effectively, but the opposite is happening. Kara and Chemistry is just kind of running over them, and they're able to force 1v2s on the few short-range members that Yo has, and that's exactly what you want to be doing versus a leader team, and that's just making it so hard for Yo to defend. But it's a new game, it's going to be game 2, it's going to be a fresh start, and like you said, Vanny, it's a best-of-5 series, and we're going to be continuing it on Zones the Hammerhead, How the Mighty Have Fallen. What do you think of this stage?
Zones Hammerhead is, in my opinion, one of the worst maps in the game, because not only do you only have that one road into mid, similar to what's the name of the map? Eeltail. But also you don't have these different levels, like you can't just push from the bridge and from the bottom. You have to push into the zone from the one route, and once the opponents get pushed up far enough to shut down the flanks, so that you can not really use the sides of the map, it can get really difficult to get back into the zone, and you have to just brute force your way in, which does not work that well against the crab tank.
Yeah, but it looks like Yo is going to be bringing a crab tank of their own. They're going to be sticking with the missiles. I think this is a much better Flingza map, but Yo's comp is just really passive. Having both the leader and the Flingza, it's kind of like having two backlines on the same team, which is just really difficult to build a lot of momentum. But right now, Yo has the first cap. Crab Battle is going to be going in favor of Kara and Chemistry, though, and Kara and Chemistry has his own right back. Yo is 2 dead. It's just the 2 backlines left, and they're being forced back. The missiles are going to come out, but that's all the threat they have on them. And Kara and Chemistry already setting themselves up for success here in Game 2.
Yeah, and once Kara and Chemistry gets control of that zone, it can be difficult for Yo to get back into the zone, as the Machine gets a beautiful pick onto the, I think, Splash or Medic. Oh no, it was the Splash. Because Yo's comp, while functional, is pretty slow, and especially at rotating with the Flingza Roller and the E-Leader. So once they get an advantage, they need more time until they get moving, unlike the comp of Kara and Chemistry. Which we can see right now, that they are so fast at rotating that they can just comfortably keep Yo in check here, as the zone gets below the 10-point mark, and it's not looking good right now.
Yeah, it looks like a knockout for Kara and Chemistry, and that it is. Kara and Chemistry goes up 2-0 in the set versus Yo. The set is not over yet. It is best of 5, but Kara and Chemistry are up 2-0. Yo needs to get the reverse sweep in order to win the set and to stay in winner's side, which it's a tall order for them. Kara and Chemistry just needs to win 1 game, the next potentially 3, and they just have so much momentum on their side. Yo not able to get anything started just because of how slow their comp has been, and just they've not been able to win these fights and not been able to get positioned, and that's flaws of their comp. I feel like it's just, you need to be winning the opening team fight, and when you don't, it just cascades out of control.
Yeah, especially that slower playstyle that we've seen from Yo is struggling against the very fast-paced, hyper-aggressive playstyle that Kara and Chemistry has been showing us. So I don't think Yo has to shake up both their comps and their entire playstyle in order to have a chance to deal with Yo, because they now need to win the next 3 games in order to advance.
Yeah, and in order for Yo to do that, they're going to have to start right here and now on Zones Wahoo, which is another interesting Zones map. We have had quite a few in a row, but Vanny, what are your thoughts on this stage?
In Splatoon 2, I actually really like this one, and I think it's the best mode on Wahoo World, but it's still a very open map. Once again, a map where backlines, especially E-Leader and Crab Tank, thrives. So it's gonna be interesting to see, and we see the double splash Flingza and E-Leader from Yo versus the standard comp that we've seen from Kara and Chemistry. And the first crab tank is already popped. It's a crab rave, but the blue crab unfortunately gets shut down. And I think that's gonna be the first zone cap for Kara and Chemistry.
Yeah, that's just been the story of the set, is that Kara and Chemistry has been getting the more important caps, but right now Yo has it, and they have a bit of a man advantage, but notably, they swapped the double splash, but they still have the Flings the leader combo, and I feel like that's one of their greatest failing, but the Flings gets the pick on Sleepy, the splash player, and now Yo has the lead, and they're trying to push up. The Flings is trying to go on the front line, trying to get them picks, but they're not dead yet, but they're just surrounded by yellow ink. It's going to be forced to retreat here. Yo still has control of the zone, but they're not quite able to push onto the enemy plat. And two on the side of Yo go down to the T-Tech on Kera and Chemistry, and Kera and Chemistry get that zone right back, and they're forcing that Flingza and that leader to stay far away. The Flings are trying for the off angle, trying to get something out of it, but it's going to get taken out by the machine, and Kera and Chemistry has the momentum and the lead right back.
Yeah, there we see another pack of Tri-Strikes. IPS has been doing a great job of outputting these. And there's the Crab Tank shutting down in even more seconds as the points take down in favor of Kera and Chemistry. 2 crabs are being popped for for Yo, but they only get 1 pick for it and the zone, and I'm not sure if that's worth it.
Kera and Chemistry is just not holding the zone right now, but it's been so annoying for Yo to deal with. But finally, Yo has some solid control right now. A lot of this map is painted purple, but they're not quite pushing up as quickly as they should be. They're starting to push up a little bit now, but now it's 2 versus 2. It's going to be important. The T-Tech and the Splash are going to trade right as the lead switches in favor of Yo. And right now, Yo is pushing it below 40 points, trying to get it below 30, trying to just get as many as they can get away with. It's at 30 points. It's going to be stalled right there as both the splashes go down. Once again, the backlines are forced to retreat, and that's the opening that Kera and Chemistry needs. They've been relying on this opening all set. Get both the aggressive players down and force the backlines to run away, and that's how they've been getting up 2-0 in the set, but they need to hold a strong hold here to get this lead all the way back.
Yeah, and that's gonna be hard, especially with the Crab Tank online for Yo and 2 players down on the side of Kera and Chemistry. We see the Splash attempting a flank, but I think they jumped out. And right now, it's looking pretty good for Yo with 2 Crab Tanks online. The penalty slowly ticking down, but the leader goes down early. That's really unlucky. The Booyah Bomb does come out, and maybe they can take the zone here. But IPS goes down once again. It's a 3 versus 2 situation.
Yeah,
If the Splash can get a pick, they can't. And they get points on the board, but it's not many. The machine gets 2 crucial picks.
Yeah,
and they get a couple of points on the board, but it's not that much.
Yo was able to get it down to 22, but the machine play was just ridiculous. But Kera and Chemistry has just not been able to push their point total down from 51. They're not being able to hold a good amount of control on this map, but finally it's taking below 50. They're through their penalty. This is what they need. Their stick is trying to position. They're throwing their strikes a little bit awkwardly, but it's just too alive for Yo. T-Tech trying to retreat to the zone in a very awkward fashion. It's very difficult to move around this map, but Kera and Chemistry is making it work. They have to lead back. They're getting close to getting this knockout. Only 15 points left on the board. Splash is behind him. Crab is behind him. Do they notice? Did they notice? They see it. Are they able to deal with it, though? No. Yo gets the zone right back, and there's a minute left for Yo to make this comeback happen.
And it's full wipe, and that's now looking really good for Yo, as they are going to have all specials online versus no specials online for Kera and Chemistry. But they need to play it out well. The Flingza has the missiles at the ready, is gonna up to hold them for as long as possible. Now the missiles are popped. There comes the wave breaker, and this lead might switch if they are able to paint over this Booyah Bomb. A trade happens. They take the lead, but the zone is contested, and the zone flips in favor of Kera and Chemistry.
The lead is by 1 point. It's so delicate. Kera and Chemistry somehow has controlled the zone. There it goes back into Yo. 15 seconds left in this game. Kera and Chemistry needs to make something happen. For the first time all set, they're on the back foot. And we're going to be going into overtime here. It's so tense right now, but Kera and Chemistry trying to establish a bit of control. It's just the 2 splashes left on Yo, but Kera and Chemistry has to hold the zone for 20 seconds, which is just such a long time. This Crab is able to get 1, and that's 3 dead for Kera and Chemistry. That's going to be the full wipe, and Yo finally taking the game, bringing the set count to 2-1, and now we're going on to game 4.
Yeah, Yo gets a point onto the board, and this is so important for your mentality. If you're if you're on the back foot 2-0, and you get that 2-1, in such close manner, it kind of really pushes your mentality, and now you're kind of awake again, and now you've licked ink. Now you wanna show them that you can compete on their level, and now I think that's gonna be a great or an interesting shift in the momentum in this set.
Yeah, and now we're going on to a stage that really, really heavily favors backlines. So if Yo can play their cards right, they're going to be doing themselves well on mincemeat zones, which is one of the maps that was added to this video game. Vanny, what do you think of this stage? Well, I guess
Give me 1 second.
I guess I'll give my thoughts on the stage in the meantime, but Mincemeat, I mean, it's just such a dominant map for leader, but Kera and Chemistry has that machine, and that machine has been really, really strong for them. And the machine is also really good on this map just because of all the ledges and all the angles you can take advantage of, and you can just hit up and over just so many annoying little spots, and it's annoying to deal with, but so is the leader that Yo has been running, but it's gonna be very awkward. It's very difficult to hold control of the zone in mid, and this might be where we see Yo's comp really shine. Very paint focused, very defensive, very backline focused. It's difficult to break through on this map, and Yo's comp is designed to be very difficult to break through.
Yeah, I'm ready now. Sorry, that cookie was kind of important right now. Yeah, as you said, I think the map heavily favors Yo, especially with their team comp. But I'm not a big fan of the map. I think it would be better patched out of the video game, because it's so awkward to move on. You can not really walk forward on it, and it just feels weird to play in some way. And it's on any weapon that's not an E-leader that it feels weird to play. It's kind of, in my opinion, like the Albacore from Splatoon 2, but in worse, and I don't really like it. So yeah, I'm interested to see how these teams play it out.
Yeah, and we see Kara and Chemistry have a leader of their own. I mean, that's just how good leader is on this map, that Sleepy is going to be switching off of that machine for a leader of their own. It's gonna be difficult for both these teams to really push in, and we're already seeing how hard it is to cap the zone. Yo is gonna be getting that first cap, but we've seen how dominant Kara and Chemistry is in these team fights. Here comes the Blade Crab. The strike's gonna push Yo out of the zone, but still no picks have happened in the first 30 seconds. The first pick though can cascade so heavily. Still, both these teams are staying all alive. The Flinka finally goes down. It's 4 versus 3 in favor of Kara and Chemistry. That's 2 dead. That's a team fight 1 if they can just push a little bit further. But one of the spots just goes down to the Wave Breaker. This momentum is just so hard to grasp hold of right now.
And see the two E-leaders just staring at each other from different ends of the map. There comes the Crab Tank and Christ Strikes, and maybe Kara and Chemistry can get some value here. They get a trade, but the E-leader goes down, which is not what they want, as now the opposing E-leader might be able to set up in a more aggressive position.
Yeah, but I mean, we can see just how difficult it is to maintain control of the zone. It's not ticked down past 80. 80! It's been a minute and a half! And it's 82 to 81. That's just the story of Mincemeat. Finally, the zone counter takes past 80, and Kara and Chemistry has control, but one goes down, and they're forced to retreat by the double crab. And I mean, that's just the story of Mincemeat, where you try to push up, you think you got it, and then you just die, and then you lose control, and then you lose 2 points, and then it just rinse and repeat all over again for 5 minutes. But now both these teams are stalled by 70. 2 minutes are down on the clock. It's 3 versus 3. But neither of these teams feel safe enough to make a move, just because these leaders are so oppressive and just able to keep so much of the map. But the splash tries to go in and gets taken down. 3 down for Yo. This could be Kara and Chemistry's cue to start pushing in. That's a delayed wipe for them as well.
Yeah, and now we might be finally able to see the first hold for one of the teams, being Kara and Chemistry. With the Crab Tank online, a pick happening, and the Price Strikes coming out. The Flinker drops in, but not the Flinker, the Splash, but barely gets out alive. But right now, this is looking pretty good for Kera and Chemistry, as they get 2 picks, have control of the zone, and are looking strong right now, and they get another pick.
Yeah, Yo is 2 dead right now. It's just the leader and the Flings it, and they can't push up on their own. Leader being forced to drop on the perch by the Splat Bomb. There's 10 timer ticks left for the zone, and Yo needs to make something happen now. It's so close, but that's gonna be the knockout, and it's gonna be it. Kera and Chemistry beats Yo 3-1. They lose game 3 in the closest fashion possible, but they're able to get the run back, and Kera and Chemistry is going to be moving on to winners semifinals.
Yeah, that was really important for Kera and Chemistry to not lose this game as well. Because if they lost this game, the momentum would have shifted heavily in favor of Yo. And you do not want the momentum against you in a game 5. So important for them to just keep their cool and be able to play it out and take the set here. Because I think if it would have gone to game 5, that could have been really bad for Kera and Chemistry. But now we see them advancing into winners semifinals.
Yeah, Kera and Chemistry just playing so well. I mean, they're the 2nd seed of this tournament. You can expect them to be playing well, and I mean, they're just such a strong team right now. We saw them 2 sets in a row on stream, and we just saw how good they are at just maintaining composure and getting momentum back from the most impossible of scenarios. But with that being said, we're going to be going on to a short little break, but don't go anywhere because we'll be coming back for top 8 winner side. Hello everyone and welcome back to Triton Cup 48. I am Broken Pinky, joined here by Vanny, and we are in winners semifinals. Winner side top 8, we have Centopia versus Oblivionion. Vanny, how you feeling about this set?
I see a lot of great names in this lobby, and I'm especially looking forward to what Orion can pull off on these Tetra dualies. But of course, Centopia is a strong team as well, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing these two great teams battle it out on Splat Zone's Mako Mart.
We're going to be starting off on the Zones Mako. We've seen this stage a few times. It is just such a neutral paradise. You can pick whatever you want and it is going to work, but I mean, again, and we're seeing some great names in this lobby. We have Orion and Phoenix from Graveyard Shift in this lobby, I believe, on the side of Oblivionion. So, I mean, Oblivionion is the first seed in this tournament. Their name is hard to say, but their plays are harder to beat, apparently. They've just been unstoppable. Centopia is the 5th seed, though. Certainly a strong and proven team. I mean, they've only lost a few games throughout this bracket. I think they only lost one game to Oatmeal back in winners round 3. And now they're going to be facing Oblivionion in round 5. Going to be trying to move on to winners finals, but that being said, here we go. Game 1 onto Zones Mako. Oblivionion rocking that Tetras, and we see Tetras on the side of Centopia along with the Stamper. Very interesting comps here.
Yeah, I love to see the Stamper. It's such a cool weapon to watch. And we see the Respawn Punisher Splash-O-Matic on the side of Centopia. And of course, I'm especially excited to see the Tetra Dually Ditto between Orion and Rilla. And actually, the first zone does go to Oblivionion. I can't say the name correctly, I'm so sorry. As we now see a massacre in the zone. But what do you think of that Custom Junior pick to deal with the Tetra Dually? Because it's just such a strong weapon against it.
I mean, yeah, Siege Eater is one of the best counters to Tetras. You just spam Wave Breakers and all of a sudden, Tetras can't safely dodge roll, and it's just really annoying, but Oblivion not letting him keep them down, and right now they have control of the zone. They have a 4v3 advantage right now. One does go down, it's one of their splashes. Tetra goes down 2 though. They just get the lead in time, but it's not a lead you would want to hold. But right now, Centopia are 3 down themselves. It's just the Tetras left. Somehow the machine of the splash on Oblivion clutched up and kept control of the zone for them, and now they're pushing that point marker down past 60. The Tetras gets the pick with the Reef Slider, but goes down quickly themselves, and right now Oblivion has strong control in zone right now. The machine and the Booyah is going to try and extend them for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, and now we see a paint off in the zone. Centopia is looking to cap that zone, does cap it, but they go 3 down. This Junior gets a pick, but can they get out alive? The Junior lives, that's great for them. And 2 go down on the side of Oblivionion, but the Junior dies to the machine. That was a great play by the machine, abusing the ledge there and the curved shots that this weapon provides. The machine does go down though, and this might be an opportunity for Centopia to take back the zone and build up a little bit of control.
Yeah, the Stamper's popping Zipcaster, trying to get behind, trying to just be as annoying as possible. They break the crab, but they go down to the splash of the newly broken crab. Very well played from Oblivionion's splash right there. And Centopia, they're through their penalty, but they're quite a ways away from getting this lead back. The zone is still being contested. It's 3 versus 3 right now. The Tetras are down. The splash is down for Centopia as well. Oblivion still has man advantage, but they just can't quite get this control, but it looks like it's going to be a delayed wipe on Centopia, and Oblivion has control of that zone once again, and it's just that splash there against the world, trying to get the zone back as Oblivion is getting through their penalty really quickly.
Yeah, now they need to be careful for the Tetra Dually just popping out of somewhere, distracting, taking so much time off the board, but the Tetra does go down. I think they trade. And there's a splash in their spawn. Phoenix does go down now, though, to the other splash by off Centopia. And it's the Crab Rave in the zone once again.
Yeah, Centopia trying to get this cap back, but 2 of them are dead. Oblivion defending the zone so well, and now the zone timer is ticking below 20. Oblivion is just having such a strong hold. Centopia has been trying to push into the zone for so long, but they just keep getting too carried away by painting the zone. They go 2 down, and that's going to be game 1 going to Oblivion in winner semis.
with a hard-fought victory, but in the end, Oblivionion comes out on top of this game number 1, and now we're excited to see how Centopia reacts to it. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna pick? And what is their strategy gonna be?
Yeah, I mean, for Centopia, this set is going to be really hard for them because Oblivionion is just it's consisted of so many good players, and so is Centopia. Centopia is an amazing team, but Oblivionion just kind of ran over them in that game, and they're going to have a hard path ahead if they want to stay in the winners bracket and move on to winners finals. But I mean, that journey is going to have to start here and now. We're going to be going on to Centopia's counter pick, I believe. Yeah, now that we're in winners round 5, we've entered the counter pick stage of the bracket. For the rest of winners semis, for winners finals, and for grands, we will be seeing counter picks come out from each of these teams, and that's going to be a big part of their strategy. Centopia is going to have to pick a map that really suits them better than it suits Oblivionion.
Yeah, and especially winning that game number 2 after losing game 1 is so crucial for your mental game in a tournament that this set might come down to who can win game number 2. If Centopia can get a point on the board and push their mentality, or if they get knocked down 2-0 and would have to get the reverse sweep, at which point, and at that point your mentality kinda drops. But we're not talking about the game number 3 right now, we're talking about game number 2, and
Yeah.
I'm sure Centopia is trying to come up with a plan to be able to deal with Oblivion in here.
This is definitely a very important game, though, because if this game is lost, not only does Centopia have to reverse the 3-0, they have to win on 2 of Oblivionion's counter picks straight. And that is just so incredibly daunting. I'm sure any Smash fans who watch Melee and just see Melee Fox having to deal with 2 Final Destinations versus Amarth, it's just having to win a reverse 3-0 on counter picks is just so difficult. But Centopia has made their counter pick choice. We're going to be going to Hammerhead Bridge, a stage that we've already seen in this tournament, and a stage that we've said quite a bit of negative things about, but if you can get a strong hold on the stage, you can really lock the other team out, and I think that's what Centopia is going to be trying to be going for.
Yeah, they might also switch off the Tetra dualies, as this stage is not optimal for the Tetras, but with Orion as a Tetra 1 trick, this might be their plan to be able to deal with him by just giving them a stage that's not good for the weapon. But
Yeah.
I also might be wrong, and I'm just definitely excited to see what these teams can come up with.
Yeah, I mean, Tetra's not the greatest on the stage, but Orion is just such an incredible player, and they've put so much time into their Tetra dualies that Orion knows exactly how to play this weapon. I mean, tried and true Tetra player here. We're going to see what happens. Orion sticking on that Tetra, as we know. Double Splash Machine to round out the comp. And we see the Tetras are going to stay for Centopia. We have a near comp ditto. It's just the Machine versus the Stamper being traded out on both of these teams. And Oblivionion is going to be charging into that zone, trying to keep the momentum going for the set as much as possible. But the Crab is already going to come out from Oblivionion very soon. The Splash has it online. There it comes. The Tetras are already dead for Centopia. 2 dead on Centopia. The Splash is dead as well. It's just that Crab alive on the far right side of the map, and Oblivionion takes an easy first half of the zone.
But the Autobomb gets a pick. That's a great Autobomb by Ender there. That was very nicely placed. And they can't get another pick, but they do get the assist. As Oblivionion goes 2 down, and now this might be the opportunity for Centopia to set up a good hold.
Centopia is going to be trying to get that hold. The Autobombs are going to be poking the spawn of Oblivionion. Oblivionion opting to go back through that left route, one of the few push options, or one of the few other push options you have. Nice kill on the Zip Caster from the Crab Tank. Just seeing that Spider-Man all the way up there and just getting it done. The other Splash gets another pick, and while Oblivionion loses the lead, they're about to get control of the zone right back. It's 4 versus 2 in favor of Oblivionion, and there it is. It's just the Crab, it's just the Splash holding Crab left for Centopia, and Oblivionion already charging all the way through with that reslider from the Tetras. Tetras are still alive somehow. The Booyah Bomb is there to support them, and Oblivionion is pushing up fast.
And this Tetra is just taking so much time off the clock, and they somehow are still alive. I do not know how they did it. And right now it's not looking good for Centopia as they go down by multiple people. But the Tetra does find a pick with the reset, but gets punished for it. And it's just a splash for Centopia up in their spawn. Can they get a pick? They can find it, but they need to go now in order to cap this zone. And it's just not gonna happen as we take below 10 points. And that's gonna be the full wipe and the game number 2 for Oblivionion.
Yeah, Oblivion just had so much of Centopia's spawn painted yellow, and it was so hard for Centopia to even try to move, because everywhere you tried to move, there was just yellow paint everywhere, and Oblivion could be sharking any of it, and that just overwhelming amount of paint and options really lent to Oblivion winning that game, and right now, Oblivion up 2-0 and in a phenomenal spot to win the set over Centopia. And, I mean, Centopia really getting, they have their back against the wall right now. They're down 0-2, and they have to make this counter pick count, because if they don't win on this counter pick, they're thrown down into the losers bracket. Even if they do win on this counter pick, they're forced to win on 2 of Oblivionion's counter picks. So Centopia really has a mountain to climb. Oblivionion has just been so dominant in this set. The Tetra dives, the machine covers, the splashes and the crabs and the burst bombs. Everything from Oblivionion is just coming together beautifully, and it's really difficult for Centopia to stop right now.
Yeah, I'm not doubting that Centopia has the potential to do so, but the circumstances under which they would have to do so are just against them in any way possible. So Centopia needs to really come up big here in order to make a miracle happen.
Yeah, and I mean, that just speaks to the strength of Oblivion. They are the #1 seed of this tournament. They have not lost a game yet, and they're going to try and keep their streak alive as we go to Zone's Undertow, one of the few split zones maps of this game, but it's separated by that ridge in the middle. Vanny, what are your thoughts on this stage?
I kinda like it, and Undertow Tower Control is actually one of my favorite map modes, but on zones, I'm not sure how much I like it, because these zones feel kinda weird to play on, and it's kind of difficult to move forward on the map because mid is just so crammed and one crab tank can just shut down the entirety of mid. So I think while the concept of the stage is very cool, it could be executed better. But the stage is as it is right now, and we're now gonna see how these two great teams play it out.
Yeah, this is match point of winners semifinals. Winner moves on to winners finals. Loser goes down to losers top 6. The Carbon Roller is going to come out for Centopia. This could be the momentum shift they need. It's a completely different comp from Centopia. No splashes to speak of. It's the Carbon 52 and Custom Junior accompanying that Stamper, as opposed to any splashes or any Tetras. Very interesting change from Centopia, and we're going to have to see if they can make it work. Oh, but Centopia
goes down early. A nice dive by the Tetra in theory, but they do go down. And that's a great start for Centopia. The splash dives, and that's a early full wipeout onto Oblivionion. And now Centopia has the opportunity to make a big play happen. But they go 2 down, and that's not what they wanted right now.
Yeah, Centopia really wants to have this hold for as much as possible, but the Splash is already contesting the zone. The other Splash contesting the other zone. Oblivionion is just putting on so much pressure onto Centopia. It's so hard for them to deal with it right now. The Stamper on Centopia goes down as well. That's not what they needed, but they have the man advantage somehow. They get 3 on Oblivionion dead. It's just the Splash, and the Splash is only halfway to Crab, forced to retreat and is spawned by that uninkable, and all of Oblivion joins to accompany them, but Centopia is doing a great job holding right now. They put the zone timer down past 45, but nice double from this Crab Tank, getting the collateral with just 1 shot, and it's just the Stamper left to defend the zone. Fast the wipeout, and Oblivion finally gets the cap after 1 minute and 30 of being in disadvantage.
Yeah, Crab Tank is totally fair balanced and not a problem in any way, shape or form. And now we see the Tetra Orion up in the spawn of Centopia, getting 2 great picks. Crazy play here. They get 3. Tetra gets 3 picks in their spawn and eventually goes down to the Carbon Roller. The Orion getting way more value than he ever should have gotten. And right now it's not looking good for Centopia.
Orion just got an insane triple in the spawn of Centopia, and right now, Oblivionion has the lead right back from Centopia. Centopia is 2 dead. The Stamper's in zone, but they're forced to recall from that Zipcaster, and the zone timer is below 20 right now, and no one from Centopia is alive. They're just so far away, dealing with Orion in their spawn. One of them is able to make this breakaway. It's Ender on this Carbon Roller, but it's a Carbon Roller. You can't be in the zone by yourself. Zuka's trying to come out, get some insane plays. Not quite able to get a pick. The Carbon goes down, and that's going to be the knockout. Oblivionion takes it 3-0 over Centopia.
Yeah, after a great opening for Centopia, Oblivionion was able to recover really well from that and just took the zone and locked them out, and especially the triple from Orion was crazy, and I honestly think that won them the game.
Absolutely. That triple from Orion just kept so much advantage from Oblivionion, and that, I mean, they've won 3-0 over Centopia. Oblivionion has still not lost a single game this whole tournament, and when you have members of Graveyard Ships and just you're the seed 1 team, and you're showing it right now because they're just playing so incredibly well. Nice 3 over Centopia, and now they're in the top 3. Oblivionion is just playing so well, and I mean, credit where it's due to Centopia. They fought hard, they fought valiantly, but ultimately this was not enough, and Centopia is cast down into the losers bracket.
Yeah, and we've seen why Oblivionion is the number 1 seed, and getting this 3-0 over Centopia is also a massive confidence boost for them. And I think they're just gonna go out there into the next set with a big ego boost, and it's not gonna get easier for the other teams to take them down if they continue to play like this.
Yeah, but with all that said, Oblivionion moves on to winners finals, and we will see them play in that match shortly. We're going to be going on to a quick break, but when we return, it's going to be winners finals of Triton Cup. Winner moves to grands. A lot on the line, so see you guys after the short break. Hello everyone and welcome to Winners Finals of Triton Cup 48. Here we have some familiar faces. We have Oblivionion versus Kera and Chemistry, seeds 1 and 2 for this tournament. And these are teams that have just been playing incredibly all day. I am Broken Pinky, I'm joined here by Vanny, and we're going to be starting the set off on Zone's Inkblot. And Vanny, what are some of your thoughts on this stage?
I think it's a pretty good stage. The only thing that I dislike about it is the giant pillar in the middle of the zone, because it's so hard to cap the zone sometimes. But I think these two teams play so well coordinated together that it's not going to be a problem for either one of them to just take the zone whenever they need to. And I'm excited to see how this plays out, because both of them have been doing incredible today. And now it's time for the great show-off.
Yeah, these two teams both 3-0'd their opponents in winners semis to make it to winners finals, so it's clear that these two are a cut above the rest. I mean, again, seeds 1 and 2 here, just been playing incredibly all day. Obviously, we saw a few sets from Kera and Chemistry. We saw the most recent set versus Oblivion, where they just 3-0'd Centopia. And Oblivionion is in winners finals, and they have not lost a game yet. They're the only team to make it this far and not lost a game. It's clear that they are the team to beat right now, so it's up to Kera and Chemistry to really pull it together and beat them. Once again, winners goes on to grand finals. Losers gonna be dropped into losers finals. This is an important set, and we're gonna be starting it off right now on Zone's Inkblot. We see the Tetra double slash machine from Oblivionion, and we see machine double slash and T-Tech from Kera and Chemistry.
No surprises comp-wise here. Both teams with the machine and the double splash, and just switching up with the T-Tech from IPS and the Tetra Dualies from Orion. Both two players that do know what they are doing with the map weapon. And two go down, one goes down on each side. The crab tank does come out, the strikes come out, and it might be the first zone for Kera and Chemistry here.
Yeah, Kera and Chemistry got that first cap, but they only pushed it down to 96. This team fight is far from over. One dead on sides for Kera and Chemistry. Oblivionion has the zone, but they're still trying to find some picks. Tetra's in that flat, up against that crab. Gets the pick on the crab, which is huge for Oblivionion. And now they're really starting to push up. They're getting their zone timer to take down a little bit. That crab on that right side of the map gets the pick with the help of the sloshing machine. And right now, Kera and Chemistry is just being forced back into their spawn, and Oblivionion is charging full speed ahead. Orion gets a little too greedy and gets taken out, but Oblivionion just has so much control of Kera and Chemistry's plot right now.
Yeah, and they have so much chip damage that it's incredibly hard to approach them with the double burst bomb from the splashes and the fizzy bombs from the machine, and it's just a pain to fight them. The Tetra is on the right side once again, just stealing time from the splash. The splash dies to the crab tank. And right now it's not looking good for Kera and Chemistry. They need to make something happen. Right now there's a resletter on the zone, and they just cannot paint it, and that was a dominant first game for Oblivionion, once again showing why they are the #1 seed in this tournament.
Yeah, Oblivionion is just so strong, such a strong team. Haven't lost a game even through winners finals. That's just an insane win streak right now. Throughout all the counter picks and all the game 5s, Oblivionion is on. Let's see it here. That's going to be an 11-game win streak right now. Trying to keep it going throughout this entire tournament. If Oblivion can make it through this tournament without dropping a game, that would be incredible. But Kera and Chemistry is here trying to put a stop to it. And now we move on to Kera and Chemistry's counter pick.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they decide to counterpick on, and it might be a stage that Tetra Dualies struggle on, because from my point of view, it looked like they mainly struggled with the insane distraction that Orion was able to put onto their plat, just taking so much attention and time, and then have his teammates clean up the rest. That this might be their strategy, or they're just gonna change up their team comps, or just try and play it better. We will see what map they are taking them to.
Yeah, there's a lot of options for Kera and Chemistry. There's, a lot of things that they can do, but they have to find an answer for Oblivionion, something that no team has been able to do all tournament. Oblivionion has just been able to run over pretty much every team they've come across, and Kera and Chemistry for them is just another on that list, and Kera and Chemistry themselves is going to really try and stop this momentum from Oblivionion to continue mounting. And I mean, you can see it, they're being very meticulous with their counter pick. They really want to strategize and pick a map that suits their advantage best, because if Oblivionion wins this game, Kera and Chemistry is going to have to reverse 3-0 on 2 of Oblivionion's counter picks.
Especially winning this, yeah, exactly. Winning this game number 2 in a best of 5 set is so crucial for the mentality, for the momentum, for the mental game, and it might come down to who can take this game. And Kera and Chemistry has to make some changes in order to make something happen here, because if Oblivionion can continue to play like they did so far in this tournament, I don't think anyone can beat them.
Yeah, but right now the counter pick is online. Kera and Chemistry is going to be counter picking to Hammerhead Bridge. I mean, it's a map we've seen counter picked quite a few times, surprisingly, considering the negative amount of reception it gets from the community. But this is what Kera and Chemistry believes is going to suit them the best, and now Oblivionion is forced to respond. Here it is. We are in battle time right now. We're going to be going on to Game 2. Winners Finals, Oblivionion versus Kera and Chemistry on Zones Hammerhead. Let's take a look at these comps, seeing what's going to be changing around. Nothing from Oblivionion is going to be changing. And as for Kera and Chemistry, the Nautilus is going to come out instead of the Machine. Very interesting idea from Kera and Chemistry to bring that Nautilus on board. It's been picking up steam throughout this meta. We just see Piku running it with some intensify and some run speed, trying to hit those shots, trying to get those squid rolls, trying to run fast. But Oblivionion is already setting up the crab. The Nautilus is already down. Kera and Chemistry is trying to counter with the tri-strikes, able to force that crab back a little bit. But Oblivionion has so much pain in the zone right now, and neither team is able to get that decisive pick. There's the T-Tech going down for Kera and Chemistry. Oblivionion gets 3 down. That's the wipeout, and Oblivionion gets that first cap and is starting to push up into Kera and Chemistry's side.
Yeah, they're able to take so much space right now, build up so much control. They are close to all of their specials. Orion gets a big trade onto, I think it was the T-Tech. The Nautilus is trying to make something happen right now, close to that Ink Storm. But they're just getting specials thrown at them. And I do not know how they want to approach the zone here. The Tetra dies because
so
Nautilus just deletes Tetras. But they need to make something happen very soon. 2 crab tanks do come out and they flip the zone finally. But it's still not looking good for them as they go 3 down once again. The last player dies as well, and that's a full wipe. And once again, immediate zone control for Oblivionion. But Reset sadly is a bad special, and therefore Orion dies to the Nautilus.
Also shredding the Tetra there, getting a little too overzealous. Orion just pushing up oh so far, but I mean, that's the Tetra way, that's the Tetra playstyle, and that's what has gotten Oblivionion so much advantage. The T-Tech goes down on the side of Kera and Chemistry. The Nautilus goes down too. It's just the splashes. Orion dancing around. 3 dead on the side of Kera and Chemistry. The splash has the crab, which can help get them back in. The crab is being popped, but Oblivionion is through their penalty, and they're starting to get some more points on the board. They have a crab of their own, just really annoy the enemy team. Nice pick on Orion from this T-Tech, but it's just so difficult. The point total is below 10 right now. The T-Tech's going for a breakaway on his own, but they get caught, they get picked off, and that's going to be Oblivionion taking 2 games in a row. They're up 2-0 in winners finals, and they're threatening to go to grands.
Yeah, that was a strong game. The one time that Kera and Chemistry was able to take control of that zone, it immediately ended in a full wipe on them, and the zone immediately flipped back. And this game never really was in danger for Oblivionion, and now they are just one game away from making it into the grand finals. And if they can continue to play like this, I don't see anyone stopping them from reaching the grand finals.
Yeah, and we saw exactly this happen with their match versus Centopia. Oblivionion is just so strong at winning on your own counterpick and just pushing up so aggressively. And Hammerhead Bridge, I feel, suits their style just so well, because you can just get so far up with those Tetras, with the reef sliders, with the crabs, with the machines, the booyahs. Everything is just all in your face, all in your base, and you just can't deal with it. And that's what has been helping Oblivionion so much right now. And Kera and Chemistry being so meticulous with this counter pick because they know if they lose this, they're sent to loser's bracket, and they really want to avoid that if possible. If they win this, though, they have to win on 2 of Oblivionion's counter picks, so they really have to make this spurt of momentum count.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they have one more chance to make something happen here. And if they do, then it's gonna get easier for them. But the first big step for Kera and Chemistry will be to take this game number 3 in order to avoid the clean sweep. And that's gonna be their main challenge here.
And I mean, they want to make this clean sweep happen. They have to win the reverse 3-0 here. And winning a reverse 3-0 is just so hard, especially against a team of Oblivionion's caliber. They're just an incredibly strong team. They've shown it time and time again. Again, 12-game win streak since the beginning of this tournament, have not lost once. Not one time. That is ridiculous. And their momentum is just insane. It's been building all tournament. Kera and Chemistry trying to counterpick. Zones scorched, but this is another map where Oblivionion can really lock them out if they're able to get deep enough. I don't know if this is the right play for them.
Yeah, it might be, but it might as well not be. And yeah, Oblivionion is very confident on what they want to play. So is Kera and Chemistry, as we are heading into what might be the last game of this set, or maybe we'll see Kera and Chemistry taking a game and continuing the game. We see the double splash does come out once again on both sides.
And as that graphic showed, we are on match point here. If Oblivionion wins this game, they win the set. They move on to Grands, where they're going to be a hard opponent to stop. Kera and Chemistry trying to stop it however as possible. This crab is already being popped, trying to chase Orion on the grades. Gets the pick on Orion with some help of the teammates. Kera and Chemistry gets that first cap, but the cap is not what matters. What matters is this team fight, and this Kera and Chemistry is being forced away by the crab on Oblivionion. One of the splashes goes down. Another splash is getting cornered, gets taken out as well. That's both splashes down for Kera and Chemistry. T-Tech goes down as well as just this Nautilus, and Oblivionion gets control of the zone, and Orion quickly pushing up, gets taken out for being a little too hasty though by this Nautilus. And Kera and Chemistry trying to set up for some defense, trying to get their way back into mid.
Yeah, but the Inkstorm Bottom Nautilus has already been used and has not gotten that much value. So now they're down one special, but Tetra dies, and this might be an opportunity for them, as Oblivionion goes down 2 players, and Kera and Chemistry is able to take control of that zone. The machine gets double teamed beautifully by the splash and the T-Take. They get another pick, and suddenly it's not looking bad for Kera and Chemistry.
Yeah, Kera is not failing Chemistry anymore. They're, in fact, getting the zone instead. This crab is being popped so deep into Oblivionion's territory. The machine is trying to get around it, but not quite able to get it. Crab trying to get some value, but it's just such an awkward spot. But nice assist from your own crab with the splash. Gets the pick on Orion with the Tetras. All of a sudden, Kera and Chemistry has that lead back. It's at 40 points right now. Still going down a little bit. There we go. Oblivionion finally contests the zone. They get the pick on 2. But Oblivionion is still going down, but it's 3 versus 2 in the zone. Oblivionion has the control they need, has the wipes they need. It's just this splash left for Kera and Chemistry, and now Oblivionion is going to try and get a strong push of their own.
And now we see Oblivionion trying to build up a little bit more control. Orion already on that top right side, not being able to live that. The B1 being used, but they need to back out from these tri-strikes. And we see the machine sharking below the ledge on the bottom left side, as the zone is being contested, but they at least took the lead here. So even if the zone flips in favor of Kera and Chemistry, Oblivionion has gotten back the lead.
Beautiful play from Oblivionion, just barely getting that lead from Kera and Chemistry, and they still have the numbers advantage. They're still having the paint advantage. They just need to paint a little bit more of the zone, and they have control of it once again. It's 2 versus 3 though in favor of Kera and Chemistry, but Kera and Chemistry is not positioned well. Gets taken out by the splash in the 1v1. Kera and Chemistry is 3 dead. It's just a splash left alive. If they can just paint the zone, Oblivionion will be in a phenomenal spot, and there we go. Point total is dipping down ever lower. I believe we're in the teens right now, and we should be below 10 very shortly. And once Oblivion gets there, they're going to be in danger of getting the knockout. This is Kera and Chemistry's last chance, but they're not going to do it. And Oblivion takes it 3-0 over Kera and Chemistry, and they move on to Grand Finals.
Yeah, Oblivionion is not being stopped right now. Making it all the way to Grand Finals without dropping a single game is just insane. They are playing so well together, and it's gonna be hard for any team to take them on in the Grand Finals. So,
They're
a big congratulations already to Oblivionion for making it into Grands. And of course, Karen Chemistry still has the chance to make a comeback to still win the tournament.
Yeah,
Because
Kera and
they are
Chemistry.
only in losers bracket as of now. But Oblivionion has been dominating this tournament so far. And it's been great to watch them because they play so well together. It's hilarious.
Oblivion is just such a strong team, but Kera and Chemistry, props to them. They made it to winners finals, and they're still in the tournament. They're in the losers bracket. They made top 3 for sure, and they're in losers finals. And if they win that match in losers finals, they get the chance to get the run back on Oblivion in Grand. So a lot's going to be determined by this losers bracket. But I mean, Oblivion, 13 game win streak, all the way from the beginning of the day to Grand Finals. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Such a phenomenal team, such amazing players. Orion, Phoenix, all of them is just so incredibly good. But with that being said, right as he actually gets the strongest, Vanny and I are going to have to bow out here. We're going to do a bit of a commentator switch. But before we go, Vanny, where can the people find you?
Mostly on Twitter, RT__Vanny. I think it's also on the bottom left of the screen right now. And yeah, thank you for having me. It's been fun, and now I'm looking forward to an exciting Grand Finals.
Of course,
So, yeah.
and don't forget, you guys can find me on Twitter at BrokenPinky_. I tweet there occasionally. I retweet some of my team's posts as we try to make it further in this Ludi season. But with that being said, that's going to be all for us. We're going to be swapping over to Genie and Sep in just a little bit as we go to the losers bracket. But make sure not to go anywhere, because Triton Cup 48 has already been an amazing tournament, and it's going to continue being amazing. So have a wonderful day, you guys. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, have a great time, and see you.
Do you have game audio?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Triton Cup. I am Genie7, joined by Skeptadillions. Here we are in Losers Round 8, otherwise known as Losers Semis.
I'm so excited for this set, Jeannie. We have the food versus No Mercy. No Mercy, if you've been watching online tournaments recently, you might have seen them in SAC. For the past two qualifiers, the main core of Knaves, Eric, and Momet playing with Apple for that tournament. And this one playing with Zanrix. The food, we got the very familiar face, Acer. So this is going to be pretty scrappy, Jeannie.
Yeah, I definitely don't think either team has a huge advantage going into this. It'll be a good match. Our first matchup here is going to be happening on Certain Shipyard. Triton Cup, we all have zones. Zones from here, from the beginning of time to the end of time. That is the Triton way.
Oh, I see. I was unaware of the Triton way, Jeannie.
Well, you forgot. This is not the first time we've done Triton. I sometimes forget. I'm like, why don't they counterpick a non-zones map? But it's zones only.
Oh, so here we go, starting off on Sturgeon Shipyard. We'll be getting a good look at our comps here in just a moment and see what these teams are bringing to the table. All right, here we go. So No Mercy here with that Flingset going for those missiles in order to be able to best clear snipe. Because, thankfully they do, because they have to be dealing with Apris with that E-leader on the side of the food. The leader can just be so oppressive here on Sturgeon Shipyard from on top of those things.
Yeah, and it has to watch out though. The trap tank is going to do a lot of damage to it. The missiles are out from the flings of No Mercy. The food, they're able to hold strong and they're able to stay alive. No Mercy's being forced to back up just a little bit. The food can get their cap and get some good follow-up spots. They can really find themselves to be a massive advantage.
And look how well they're doing. I'm very curious as to see where Apris is going to get, because right now they are playing that left side. I really want to see that leader get on top of that spinner so they have very clear sight lines over street. Regardless, we can see No Mercy taking very similar positions to each other here, all grouped up in core, and I'm sure the food knows exactly where they are, but they lose that machine, which is pivotal for their defense here.
They lose the machine, but they are able to get at least some space to get in. They got the zone for No Mercy. They have to watch out for this wave breaker, and they want to find this healer. They want to find a way to pressure it. The machine forces itself, knives, jump back.
But now we have a situation where No Mercy is in control of the zone and working their way towards the specials. Unfortunately, they lose the Flings of Genie. That's going to take away their missiles.
Yeah, the missiles, your best way to really stall out the food. You know what? Another good way to stall out the food is by spotting them yourselves. The zone is under contention. The food, if they cap it, they apply a massive penalty. No Mercy. They're just trying to stay alive. They see the splash, underhand up zone, and they are able to do it. Food is fighting. They're fighting. They're scrapping. They go down in a 2v1 scenario. 2-2 trades all around. Machine versus Flings will fight, and I believe the Machine will be able to win that. No, the Flings is trying to space it out with the help of, I believe that was Knives, getting a nice spot on the Ealer and the Machine. This zone is ticking down.
It is, and we can see those missiles coming out on that right side, so that way Momet only has to focus in one direction. That crab does come out on left, and we can see the food starting to break back in, but once again, that machine going down, that's going to take down so much of their firepower in the moments that they need it most, clearing out No Mercy to go straight for a Game 1 KO.
Wow. Good job from coming back in for No Mercy. They looked like they were at a massive disadvantage early on, but their zone control was able to stay really strong throughout the middle section of that game. And the food on zones, if you have two unsuccessful pushes, the game's usually over.
And it really, we can see that the food struggled with their retakes. If they lost the machine, they lost their forward presence. that Fizzy does such a fantastic job in terms of physically painting your way into the map. And then when you're working with that leader, a leader, regardless of how talented you are, you need your front lives alive in front of you if you plan on entering towards mid. So unfortunately, that is what made them bite the bullet.
I'm looking at, for the Food's counter pick here, they can pick any zones map that they want to as their counter pick. I would like to go to a spot where Eagle Leader is dominant, that Flingza might not have as good of a time. There's few maps that come to mind that like Eagle Leader is super dominant on, but Flingza also has strengths. Like Hagglefish, both Eagle Leader and Flingza can show off their strengths. A map like Scorch really favors Eagle Leader more than Flingza in my opinion.
Honestly, but leader does very well on Gorge regardless, right? You know, once a leader gets on top mid, and then if your teammates are pushing into elbow and you have one pushing through left greats, like that's just a beautiful pin. And then you know, Gorge clams in particular, then you could just keep on dunking.
Yeah. We're gonna be seeing Wahoo zones as the pick coming out from the Food. I see
like
exactly why they want to have the E-Litter. The E-Litters here has that good sight lines, and for the flings, abusing the flings that No Mercy has, it forces it to have to fight for its own pain.
But even then, the flings is going to do very well here once they do get set up, right? You start putting on mines in the entrance points, and then you only have to focus plat. If you mine up that left side, you know when an opponent's going to be pushing there. Regardless, you want to force your opponents to feed onto plat. That way you and your team only have to look in one direction, and you can just pick off opponents one by one. It takes so long to re-engage here that the first team that really gets set up, whether or not that's the leader on the side of the Food or No Mercy with that Flingza roller, they're gonna have a much easier time. We do see double splash coming out once again from both of these teams.
Yeah, double splash machine, just that Flingza versus the E-Litter, which is why we were talking about it so much in the break, because the machines and the splashes will find each other trading out oftentimes. Guys, they're actually going to be forced back, and the Food, again, they're going to have a strong start in this game.
Especially with this Crab v Crab duel. If No Mercy wins this out, they're going to set themselves up very favorably. That way their Flingza can start farming those missiles. The Food does cap, but now they're a staggered 2 down in that zone. So No Mercy still remaining in control of their plat, but this leader, look at that forward presence there. They're forced to use that Booyah Bomb in order to force the leader to back and cap that zone.
Areas with that leader trying to get the shots down that they couldn't find. No Mercy, they have control of the zone. The splashes are approaching Crab Tank, but not quite there. If the Food want to get in, they gotta get in now. Unfortunately, the Crabs are up. You're gonna have to wait now.
And there comes a very nice splat from No Mercy. Trades benefit the team that is currently holding objective. We see that No Mercy maintains their cap of the zone, but look at this flank, Genie.
Oh, the flank is good. Oh, the Flingza says no, the flank is not. No Mercy. They've got 4 members up. They've got the jumps in, and they're pinning the zone. The Food, they thought they had an opportunity to get in there, but they don't. The E-Litter does find a pick. The Crab Tank on this right side is trying to find some space, but no Mercy. They're just holding the pedal down to the metal.
But oh man, look at the trade there. No Mercy still maintaining control. They know that there's that machine on that glass side. If they manage to maintain this zone here, the longer and longer they are setting up, but it's Wahoo zones in particular. So once the Food gets in and is able to cap this, then the tides start turning. If they can get a couple of picks here on No Mercy might find themselves on their back foot.
But see, if Arrows can find a spot further up in zone to take away that position, that's where they need to be as an E-Litter. The further back you are, the further back the Flingza can just spam you with missiles, burst bombs, crab, everything just comes at you. And you need to stay in front of the zone to have the E-Litter in a dominant spot. If you just start running back, that's not helping your team.
Yeah, the leader that far back, but regardless, look where that leader is. They're still able to hit most of plat. No Mercy working their way into the zone here in a 2-2 situation, but this Crab does its job and gets a pick.
Yeah, the good shots from the leader and that crab. The jumps are back in for the food. This is very, very favorable for them. They've got a wave breaker to stall it out. If they can have their splashes, get some nice splats in the front line. This will stall out zone so they can get lead, and they have it. Here goes the big fight. Can No Mercy find their way back in? Wave breaker out. Missiles are going to allow them to get in. They have to paint the zone. They have to neutralize it. They have it. They're trying to paint over. They get splashed, but there's just a splash remaining, and the splash is in a wipeout. It's the machine. The machine for the food closes out the game.
Coming out victorious, Cappy on that machine. Great pick there in order to seal the deal in a 1-1 situation and bring that back around town for the food because they were hungry and they found their funnel cakes, Genie. Regardless, like I mentioned in the mid-game there, once you manage to cap on Wahoo zones, it doesn't matter how you do it. If you're finding yourselves in a 4-4 situation, any picks that go on they're so punishing for the team that's in control of objective. On that map in particular, simply because of how long it takes for your teammates to catch up with you.
Yeah, and I believe the counter pick is already in. We're going to be going brine, water, splat.
Oh my
zone.
gosh. It really is all zones, ain't it?
That's... So, history lesson. Triton used to be Poseidon Cup. Poseidon Cup was what was what Alice ran on RSL before Dapple became a thing. And Poseidon was all zones. It was an all zones tournament. He was back in Splatoon 2. Comp players like, we want to play only zone tournaments. So Alice said, okay, here it is. This is Alice's third series of all zone tournaments. The first one was over zone, which was only zones.
My question about this next map mode is why? Why pick this? No Mercy, they are running that Flingza instead of a traditional backline. But you're playing zones on a map mode that benefits that leader and mostly that leader. So this is a fascinating counterpick from No Mercy, and I'm curious to see what they're going to choose to bring to the table, given that they're running the exact same comp that they've been running, and they're still running straight into the sightline of that leader.
Get those missiles down, and it's really easy for Knives and the rest of No Mercy to try and get that healer out of position. Because you can see those missiles, they got so much damage done that 2 members of the food are gone. And see how fast you can just approach to the healer. Even though the healer has so many sightlines, it's the way of getting to the healer is so wide that it's actually fairly simple.
I mean, the longer that No Mercy is able to control mid, the better for them, obviously. But my concern is once food manages to get set up, if they manage to do that at all, given that we're seeing them a consistent 3 down and that last one is forced to jump. This is some seriously aggressive forward presence from No Mercy, but we've seen this before, Genie. We've seen brine water zones go in a situation where one team is spawn camping the other, and then there's one good lockout once they feed a little too far, and then we're gonna see a situation where the team that was losing gets control. And this is exactly what we're starting to see. 2 down in that elbow, Genie.
2 down. There's actually 2 down on both sides. Now it's just going to be moment on that Flingza trying to keep their jumps alive. And they will. They're able to help their teammates. The healer's going to cap that zone and apply a big penalty for the food and allowing their teams to get some jumps. No Mercy. They're trying to get back in with the missiles that they have now. And they have capped that zone again. In the food defense.
Yeah, but Esperus lived those missiles. The damage has been done more or less because now the leader can start getting set up again. Start looking down that elbow. These fizzy bombs are just so annoying in that street though because they just get caught on that little ramp. But look, this is exactly what I was talking about. Rainwater zones against a leader this talented, you may have been winning that opening. You may have been running it down. But how do you push into this?
It's going to be hard. It's going to take a lot of specials and a lot of power. We see the missiles get 1. That is good if you're No Mercy, but you lose your Flings and you lose another splash. People are trading all over the place, but there's nothing that's going to remove this healer. Maybe a Booyah Bomb, but will that be enough to neutralize the zone or cap it? It has neutralized it. They're trying to paint it for both sides. No Mercy has a crab tank. With the food, they're able to hold on just for a little bit longer.
The longer this is held for the food, the obviously the better situation that they're in. That machine has that Booyah Bomb, and that is a wipeout in favor of the food. The leader is exactly where they want to be. They are sitting pretty on practically a map that was designed for them. The food needs to get those missiles and push in with them and get that leader. They need to get Apris out of that zone. Here come the missiles. Are they going to successfully push in? They picked the machine. Will it be enough, Genie?
They've gotten what they needed. They needed to neutralize that zone and cap it. Apply a penalty, because they lost lead and there's only 12 ticks left. If No Mercy falls here, they at least are able to breathe another day.
But they're still in control. The food is still in control of No Mercy's elbow. If that leader is just gonna get right set back up. That's a nice clean double here for them.
Ooh, the machine, knives goes down. This is huge for the food. They've got so much space and they've got so much opportunity. There's a crab tank online for the Mercy, but you have to, those missiles, that's the only way you truly want to get in. You don't want to face any leader head on or a machine or all this. Look at how much damage this crab tank is having just for no space at all.
You know, but honestly, that crab tank did its job, right? The job was to keep the leader alive. That's it. And just as I say that, the leader goes down. Finally, No Mercy has managed to break back into mid. If they run it down and they take control of the food's elbow like they did at the beginning of the game, they might be able to buy themselves enough time to knock this out. Regardless, penalty of 20 remaining. That's not that large, so the pressure is on the food in order to break back in the next 20 ticks.
Ooh, this is gonna be so close. We've got 10 ticks on the board, make that 5. No Mercy, they're trying to get this zone. But the food, they flip it over just in the last minute. They needed that so badly, they've got it way figured out. No Mercy, they have a crab tank as well, but they've lost 2 members. I don't know how much work this is gonna get done. They're getting flanked, Jerry's being flanked from the right side. They're forcing the members of the food in back of the zone. Can the burst ones find anything? No. The food, they're able to hold on.
This benefits them. They have the lead. They have 20 ticks remaining, and they only have 30 seconds in order to be able to hold that. Apris exactly where they need to be on that street, just maintaining that look over the zone. Though Mercy can come in a little bit, the food can feed a little bit. Time is on their side, relatively speaking. They only need to cap this one more in the next 10 seconds.
Big snipe, Booyah Bomb coming out. We've got to get to this zone for food. There's not much time left, but No Mercy. They've lost both their penny webs. Make that 3. Just a machine. Can Knives clutch up this game? Can they save the game for their team? No, they can't. The food, they're going to be punching their tickets in the losers finals. What a win.
A successful win, and I'm just going to be blunt here, Genie. A win that was made most possible and probable by No Mercy's counter pick. The decision to bring it to Brinewater against such a capable and competent backline, to force themselves into a situation where they were just, the main objective that they were going to be running is how do you move the leader. If you don't have a clear and defined answer to that, what happens? The leader wins. Brinewater is a map mode where you need to have a specific strategy in order to deal with such oppressive backlines. You can't go into that running the same double splash machine comp that you've been running the whole time. The Flingsa, definitely a base pick from there, but I just didn't feel the movement and the intent to focus that leader, because if they kept Apris off the field, they'd win.
Yes, I completely agree with that, and we saw exactly how it played out. But I want to know, can the food take the momentum of this win and take on our second seed? Kera is not failing chemistry anymore. Shout out to Kera for not failing chemistry anymore. That's the name of the team that is sitting in losers finals, and we'll watch that match after this break. Welcome back, everybody, to Losers Final of Triton Cup 48. I am Genie7, still joined by Skeptadillions. We are here on Zones, Wahoo for Food versus Kera Chemistry. I'm not going to say the whole full name.
So, honestly, I'm really excited about this set, and, like, before you go, Skep, like, you're always excited about all the sets. You're right. I am always excited about all the sets, even if I don't sound like it. The reason why I'm excited about this set is actually Sleepy. We got to see Sleepy pop off with Otters the other day, and, like, I liked their machine. That's really, like, what it is. Like, I don't know. Sleepy's kind of earning a place in my heart, Genie.
You know where the people can find that game? They can find that on Dapple's YouTube or Twitch VOD channel. That was Squid Junction. Anyway, game 1. Here we go.
Yeah, alright, here we go. We have Apris once again on that leader. We saw how well they played the previous Wahoo games, ultimately ending up taking it after getting back in with a very small score. And then Sleepy, no longer on the machine, like I mentioned. We have them on the leader as well. So leader v leader.
Wow, did not expect to see that one at all. We see lots of action going on in zone, and Kera is able to get that first cap of zone. Food, they're stuck down in the low ground, trying to find some opportunities back in. I don't know if they want to go in there without too many specials.
Well, regardless, the Food is trying to scrap for that zone. They do lose one of their splashes in the process, so Kera and Chemistry going to be able to very quickly recap this here, as well as get another pick. They're going down consistently, but still both leaders are alive. So as long as I say that one of the leaders goes down, but I'm gonna make my point in that as long as the leaders are alive on those plats, you're going to see relatively quick re-engages. The Food takes advantage of that and does get their first cap of the game.
Yeah, those jumps into the E-leaders, they're a constant beacon, will be good, but the Food, they're trying to go in a little bit aggressively, taken out by that Nautilus, taken out by that Crab Tank. Kera, they're holding strong onto the zone. They need to get that a little bit of a cap, so then they apply a penalty to the Food, trying to pan it, and they end up losing a member down to the E-leader. AS with a nice snipe and a Booyah Bomb and a Crab Tank coming out for the Food should really, really spell good fortune for them.
This is such a fantastic wave breaker spot because hypothetically speaking, it shuts down any flanks that may be coming around through your own glass, so you can be watching your back and expecting those. Look at Cappy underneath these waves here, just trying to shut down Sleepy. They might end up being looked at. No, so they managed to get the pick on Sleepy. That is huge because now it's going to take even longer for Kera and Chemistry to get back into zone. The longer the Food can stall this out, the more favorably they're going to be setting themselves up. If they keep one member down, they keep them from building those specials, and they keep holding this lockout.
Oh, and IPS falls in that situation as well. There's no time left. The E-leader from the Food, they need to get some good shots down. Chemistry, they're trying to get in. What can they do? Knowledge is going in, but they have to go into a Crab Tank and a Booyah Bomb. There's no possible way you can get through that. The zone is neutralized for just a second, but a second is not long enough. Food come up clutch in this game 1.
And very dominantly, dare I say. Once they got a hold of that zone, they did not let that up. And the secret to success there was just keeping one down. They don't need to go in and wipe them. That's not how you need to play Wahoo zones. Given just how delayed and languid and transitory Wahoo is in particular, it just makes it so incredibly difficult to get in. So fantastic job from Food knowing not to push their limits and let Kera and Chemistry work their way towards the fire.
Yeah, that was... I saw a good opportunity for Chemistry to try and find their way back in, but they couldn't find it in the lab. Some experiments went wrong, and I guess that's why Kera's failing Chemistry. We'll never truly know. But what we will know is that the next map is Zone's Hammerhead. Hammerhead is the... You like this one, Skip?
No, honestly I don't. Because Kera is skipping Chemistry and isn't even here. The reason why I don't like this is there's a leader. Like, it's the same reason I didn't like Brine Water from the last set, is you're picking into a leader. Bring them into a situation that's gonna make them uncomfortable. Bring them to Flounder. Like, people think Flounder, like, oh no, like, leader, it's such a big map, but like, There's lots of ways to break a leader's sightline on Flounder. There's not a lot of ways to break a leader's sightline on Hammerhead. And so that's my concern, is you just got 100 to 0'd by Apris. Why are you going to Hammerhead?
I think you want to find the speed so you can get Sleeper on that machine, and then keep Smiley on to the Nautilus and do a lot of work. Nautilus on this map, probably
It is
probably
good.
not. But against a leader, it's hard. And smart
Yeah.
that they swapped off of it.
So I like the Foods comp here with Cappy on the machine, because having that machine is really going to enable them to play those blocks around the sides. If you want to control zone and you want to let the opponents feed into you, you need to control those sides, because then you have multiple angles of fire. That's not something Kera and Chemistry is going to have with this triple shooter backline comp. And not only that, but the machine in the hands of Cappy, very useful in terms of playing that right plat, as well as directly underneath Snipe, digging the Foods comp here.
Yeah, the Food, they're so good. Cappy, we see they're trying to go on to IPS. It's this nice little splats. IPS has nothing to do. Chemistry, Kera's Chemistry, they can't find a way back in. It's just going to be the leader who's forced back and going to be taken out by Cappy. Cappy goes 1, 2, 3. I don't care. Chemistry is not that easy.
What I mean. Exactly what I mean. Described on the respawn. Kera doing exactly what the machine does so dominantly here. Playing those sides. And we're going to start to see the splash working up, right? Trying to prepare for some sharks. But the machine is behind them, sitting comfortably, holding on to some paint.
Cappy's going to have to hold on to the zone all by themselves. They're going to try and do it, but they get a trade scenario. Kera, they're 100% going to get this zone. I know that for a fact. And this should be good for them to have their E-leader and get good sightlines.
Yeah, and then you can see that leader's in that zone and looking directly where they know opponents are going to be on that snipe. They also have 3 specials to do it, but the poor leader is out of ink. Thankfully, they do have that wave breaker to pop it for that quick refill. But look how quickly the food is broken back in here. The double crab, definitely a huge advantage to that. But now, if I'm Kera in the Chemistry, my questions are, where are the machine? Because that's who I need to be keeping an eye out, because of that triple from the last engagement.
Yeah, and the zone, the Food, they're able to get it. They see that Pelu's on this left side. Can they take them out in 2v2 scenario? Yes, they can. Either's going to be forced back from Chemistry. Kera's team is just falling back, and they got some good points, but now, back to the drawing board.
And look at these splashes pushed up in the street here, just chucking burst bombs, using that chip, trying to work together on it. The Food's sitting relatively pretty here with 25 ticks remaining, and then look at how far pushed up they are, Genie. Can Kera and Chemistry break back into zone here with 1 player down?
Oh, they've got an opportunity. They got 1 splash down. They're gonna force those tri-strikes on the zone, but they need them to neutralize. 3 ticks on the zone. They're going to have to paint it. They can't lose anybody at all. They've lost IPS. That's a painter. You got splashes and crab ticks. You got splashes down. Just an E-leader to paint that zone, and that is not going to do it. The Food have a dominant 2-0 advantage in this best of 5.
A seriously dominant advantage. Why? I'm once again going back to your counter picks, homies. Like, you need to think about it for just a split second. That counter pick came in very quick, and it came in very hot. And normally when that happens, it's because a team is comfortable on it. And they're like, that's it. That's what we're gonna play. What they don't expect is the opponent might be just as comfortable on it. Happy with that machine, properly enabled and set up. Apris on the leader. How do you shut down a leader on Hammerhead in particular? When Splatoon 3 came out, people were like, oh, leader is so oppressive. Like, why play Hammerhead when everyone's playing leader? You walked into it, homie. We're gonna be heading on to Splat Zone's Inkblot as Kera and Chemistry's possibly their last counter pick. If they lose this game, that's it. GG's. We'll see you next week. So what makes Inkblot different than Hammerhead, what makes it different than Brine Water, is you have all of those differing elevations and blocks to work with to break that leader. Definitely not a situation, once again, where you want to allow that leader to get set up on top mid, because that is a recipe for disaster. I'm very curious to see whether or not Kera and Chemistry is changing their comp or sticking with their formula.
I feel like they're just losing in the E-leader battle, and it's not.
Yeah.
That's not something that I've been able to say since like really early days in Splatoon 3 or even Splatoon 1. That's not usually a matchup that you like to see. I'm very hesitant of this in plot of the game. But as long as I can get Sleepy off of their E-Liter and onto Machine, I think that would be better. Because Machine is so strong here, but E-Liter is also so strong here. Sometimes I just think, maybe open up Splatoon Wiki and look at the map list. And then, seriously, it's not that hard. Splatoon Wiki, Google, Firefox, whatever you have, just use it.
Here we are on match point. The winner of this game is... if the food wins this, they are moving on to Grand Finals. Kera and Chemistry, they need this dub and then 2 more after it in order to maintain their presence. Look at this bubble pick from IPS, however. Speaking of splitting up a narrow and claustrophobic map, that is a great swap for Kera and Chemistry here.
Great swap, but the map start is the exact same. Make that even worse than all the other maps. This is terrible if you're Kera and Chemistry, but godsend if you're the food.
And look at this crab. Look how aggressive that crab is. That crab was all the way up on bats in the opening. That is extremely oppressive. And now we have a crab v crab duel on plat.
The fight is happening on Kera's plat. They're trying to break their way out. They're forced to E-Liter off top mid. That's good for them, but they lost 2 members. What are you supposed to do in that scenario? And the big bubbler is used so far back, so deep on plat. A rain cloud. I feel like these specials are just being thrown out all willy-nilly.
The specials are not going to get any impact. You can see that the food is just quickly able to paint over that storm, thus gaining them even more points for special. We are now 27 ticks away from the food moving on to Grand Finals, and Kera and Chemistry is caught on their plat as the food pops more crab.
There's no time. This Nautilus needs to find something, because IPS is gone. Make that a wipeout. That's over. The food just munched up every single thing that Kera was cooking up in that chemistry lab. There was something tasty in there, and wow, the food they too much to handle.
They say no eating in chemistry class, so the food went straight to lunch, taking the victory in this best of 5 in a very clean 3-0, and moving their way on to Grand Finals. We need to talk about counterpicks.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is the #1 thing that I'm seeing. Because there's, like, Kera and Chemistry wasn't getting outplayed. They were just putting the food in a situation where they were comfortable and they were hungry. So I'm very curious to see whether or not Oblivionion, who is waiting for them in Grand Finals, is going to make the same mistake. And whether or not the food also gets hasty in their counterpick.
We'll have to wait and see. I know that will be just coming around the corner. Last time that these two teams played, winners round 3, Oblivion took it in a 2-0 fashion over the food. We'll see if that scoreline continues or the switch gets flipped and the script is reversed. We'll see about that after the break.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Triton Cup 48. My name is Skepidillions, and I am here with my fantastically hype co-commentator, Genie7. Genie, are you ready for Grand Finals?
I'm ready. Wait, is that
What?
is that the energy I need, or do I need higher?
No, give me more, Genie.
Yo, I'm ready. Woo! Let's go.
All right,
Grand
give me
Finals,
more,
that's what I've been
Genie.
waiting for. Let's go. Woo!
Give me more. You can do more. I know
I-
you can do more.
Okay, I don't want to. Can't
Come
go
on,
too hard
just
because I go.
a little bit more, Genie. Hit me with it. I'm waiting.
Woo! Grand Finals. That's what I've been waiting for. Woo! Let's go.
So we got Oblivionion and the food. So the food coming from elimination bracket, they are going to be walking into a situation where they need to win not only this set but the next set. Oblivionion has been sitting cold for a little minute. Hopefully they've been playing some open, keeping their hands warm, talking shots with their teammates, maybe even possibly watching the stream to know what they're going to be up against.
We'll see. Oblivionion have not dropped a game. Not a single game. They've gone 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 3-0. That is what they're looking at. So any match here for the food would be good. These two teams have faced before. We'll see if the switch can be flipped.
All right, here we go. The food does have a mountain to climb in front of them, looking right flounder zones. We have A-Press once again sticking on that signature leader. Like I mentioned in the previous set, this is good for Oblivionion because they have those Tetras in order to be able to play with those leader sight lines. So unless the food is looking consistently at their map, their leader might find themselves being flanked time and time again.
Here we go. Oblivion, they're trying to cap the zone. They get the E-leader with a good crab usage, but they have to watch out the machine. Trying to get a lot of damage down on these crabs. Not enough. It goes down to Carbon. Trying to get rolled over by the crab, it looks like, and that's exactly what happens. Some assist from the teammates.
Did you notice that the food is now playing a Carbon instead of Double Splash? Like I mentioned for the leader, Crab can find itself flanked in a similar manner because of the way that mid is broken up. We can see the food taking advantage of that leader's presence in order to be able to work their way in. It is just a lone splash in that zone. This is quite possibly going to be the food's cap here.
Oh, the Tetris are going in, get one, get two. They gotta watch out for the wave breaker. They need to know where this Carbon is, and I think that their Autobomb has found them out. We see these this way spams, so they know that Carbon is trying to get back in.
I am holding my breath for the time being. I would imagine that everyone on Oblivionion knows exactly where to look. You know that Carbon's going to come and want to drop on that right wall in order to be able to start pressuring in zone. The food, a staggered one down as Oblivionion takes down more and more points. The Zuka coming out, but if it doesn't find any picks here, they have a mountain to climb.
Yeah, food, they're just scrambling here. Oblivion, they've got so much control. They've got crab tanks, they've got all the paint. They have the zones. They're just trying to hold on for a little bit longer. Cappy tries to take out the members who are on the zone, but no time. The food, no one else is there to cap it. No one else there to neutralize it. And Oblivion, keeping strong, showing that they're still hot.
They are. The Tetras, the double that they got, is what sealed the deal. The fact that the food was so close to capping and then all of that wins just disappears. And that's exactly what they needed. The food needed to cap there. So that way they could apply penalty points and that way they could start looking forward. Instead, they were constantly just having to look up. And like what's above them? Oblivionion with their double crabs.
Yeah, it's so difficult to push into that. And I feel like it's going to hurt. It really, really, really hurt food. This time they started on a map that E-Leader super struggles at. When it has control, E-Leader is dominant. When there's no control, what are you supposed to do?
But here we go, Genie. Wahoo Zones, which we have seen the food win 2 sets in a row. The last one that we saw with Kera and Chemistry, the food did perform very, very well on, getting a really nice solid lock and hold and knocking it out, allowing the members of Kera in order to feed into them, picking one pick at a time, previously they did have a swap with No Mercy, and it was able to take control of zone about 30 remaining on the side of No Mercy, and then just held it the rest of the game. So will Orion get the same value on their Tetras that they did on Flounder? Because they're going to need it.
They're definitely going to need it. We're going to see both teams scrapping it out in mid to start off. The crab tanks, double crab tanks out from Oblivion. They got two, and they got the members to jump out. Looking like the food, even though this map is the one that they picked, they have to find a way back in to really, really force Oblivion on their back feet.
But look where the leader is. If the leader manages to get a couple of picks onto Plat here, that might allow the food to break in. And we can see that one of those splashes is playing that left side. That's good, because that's going to split stimulus away from the leader, so that way the rest of the members of food can break onto Plat. Regardless, look at all these specials there. Oh my god! The collat!
Yes, that's a spectator cam collab. Both of them were apparently on the same plane, but that's a-okay for the food. That's a way to get back in. You can't rely on it every time, but they gotta actually use it. They gotta utilize it. Oblivion, they've jumped back in. The specials are out from the food, but I don't think the cap is gonna be able to come through. They're just trying to jump over this wave breaker. I think finally the food have enough members down that they can actually get into the zone and cap it. Please, please cap it. Thank you.
They do, but how far forward are they going to be able to get? Because right now they are losing that Plat. And where is the leader? The leader is on their own Plat. That's good. That's where they need to be. The Booyah Bomb going to force that leader back to generate that space, but we're in a 3v3 situation where the food is maintaining control, at least for now.
Oh, and I think that's good. Their Splash is able to get around the crab. Can they either get the shots? No, they can't. They do break it, but their Splash is gone. That's not a scenario that you want. If they are able to land the shot, they'll be able to protect their jumps. It's looking good. Their machine's able to stay alive and get the kills beside them. Huge team plays from the food. And this is massive, massive positioning for them.
That's a delayed wipe. And look at where the machine is. The machine, we saw it happen previously. We saw what happens when Cappy plays on that Plat and starts playing underneath those waves. I want to see Cappy get further up, especially with this Booyah Bomb as a way to get in. The Tetras are just being such a pain. But here comes that Booyah Bomb going right for the opponent machine and that splash. I believe the food is going to be able to maintain this.
I think they're gonna be food. They're gonna try and hold on to this for a little bit longer. It's gonna be dangerous. The splashes are gone, so just the machine and the E-liter to paint. Those aren't weapons to paint. Those are weapons to splat, and they can't find anything. They can't find control of the zone. The E-liter is able to have jumps in, and the trades are coming through. Actually, not trades at all. Just getting away with murder and being able to get out. Eventually, do turn into trades. But Oblivion, they got in there right at the last second to take control of that zone.
But this is what we want to see. We want to see even games. It's very rare that you see a Splat Zones Wahoo game that is even. Oblivionion getting dangerously close to clearing that penalty, but we do see specials coming out from the food in order to try and break back in here.
Ooh, it's gonna be dangerous. So many members of the food are being shot at from behind. But Oblivion, they lose 2 members as well. It's gonna be a 2-2 scrap, and there's no time on the clock. 10 ticks on the board. Just Cappy and the leader. What can they find? Cappy's the last one alive. There's a wave breaker out. It's gonna be shut down. Can the food get to the zone? Can they paint it? Can they neutralize it? No, they can't. And Oblivion up 2-0 in grands.
And they're on match point, aren't they, Genie?
Yo.
So, Oblivionion needs to win one more game to call it good night. To say, we had dinner already. Thank you for dessert. We will be going to sleepy. So that's it. One more game. I'm curious as to what the food's counter pick is going to be, given that we haven't seen them making counter pick.
Oh yeah, we haven't had to see them make counter picks, and they didn't have to make counter picks last time that these two teams played each other. Those maps in winners round 3 were Eeltail and Scorch. Zones, as it's a zones only tournament. So if I'm the food, we saw their brine water, that went well. You might be able to pick up that. But please, the Splatoon wiki, the Splatoon, just even like it's on there. Just find it. Look at the map list.
But I'm thinking about brine water, and I totally agree. Brine water would be a great pick, just as long as you have an eye on the Tetras. Right, because the last thing you want is the Tetras popping auto bombs at your leader and just reef sliding straight into your street and rushing down our poor Apris. But look, our counter pick, Eeltail zones. This is a counter pick I can get down with, Genie.
Yeah, but the last time that these two teams played, the food lost. I don't know if it was a close map. I wasn't there, wasn't able to watch it, wasn't on stream. I feel like it would have had to have been close to play a team that you've already played before and lost to them on this map and counterpick it when you're down in 0-2 hole in grands. Is your last counterpick? I feel like it's pretty ballsy.
It is, but maybe there's something that they're hoping to cheese here that we haven't seen come out yet. Maybe there's an adjustment. Maybe there's a plan. But then again, I'm also going to be real. We've seen some pretty suspect counter picks today. So maybe this is another one of those situations. I'm curious. I'm very curious.
Curiosity. That's what's killing us. Cappy's the last one to lock in. We're trying to get the game plan down. That's always a good thing. Take some time for the food to think over what's your opening game plan and what happens. What do we do if the opening game plan goes wrong? That's something I find teams oftentimes forget.
Right, yeah, you're gonna want to have a contingency plan. You're gonna want to know a way for you to get set back up in the positions that you need. Because if you know where you need to be in order to win, but how do you get there? How do you clear the opponent out of your spawn cleanly enough to be able to start putting up a contest in mid? Let's see if the food is changing their comp at all. Keep in mind that they've been running double splash machine or leader, or they've been running splash machine, leader, and carbon. I want to see them taking advantage of some funny hitboxes because we're seeing Oblivionion sticking with their double splash machine tetra comp. And look, now we are seeing the same exact comp that we've been seeing from the food for the vast majority of the time that we've been watching them. So what is going to be different?
We gotta see, and we gotta wait to find out. That's gonna be a trading scenario down out on the low ground. We're gonna see the Eater trying to find the machine who's stuck out, and actually Acer falls to that. The way that the machine is able to stay alive in that scenario in this large zone, Oblivion, they're able to get control of it before they get flanked.
So we spoke about funny hitboxes on Hammerhead last game. It's very similar for Eeltail. Those fizzies do such a fucking... I'm so sorry. They do so...
So wiki mentality.
Oh my gosh, no, and I didn't mean for that to come out. They do such a good job at clearing a straight line down zone. I apologize.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, we're gonna see the zone being under contention. Booyah bombs coming out from both teams. The food are just trying to hold on. The crab tank as well from Oblivion. Can Cappy find the spot that they need? No, they can't. And that's gonna be the food. I'm pretty sure they're gonna lose this zone, but it's so big, so they're able to keep neutral for a long, long time. Oblivion, they've got crab tanks out fighting each other. The food, I think Oblivion was able to win it, and that zone control is now in favor of Oblivion.
It is, and that's exactly what they need to do, because now they have cleared their penalty, and it is just the leader. Where's the leader? Go for Apris. Apris is on top right. You see them, Elia. You know where they are, but the leader, Apris, manages to jump out. Now, I want to see that machine getting on bridge. I want to see them start playing that right plat. I want to see them with that booyah, and that is what we have here. Look at this crab just absolutely decimating top left.
There's so little time left in this game. Oblivion, they're so close at getting the tournament. They're so close. This booyah bomb is all but gonna secure it because the food have to go so darn far. And Oblivion, even if they wipe out here, it's gonna take them so much time to get back into that zone.
We have 10 ticks until Oblivionion rocks away with the dub genie.
I don't think there's a way back in. I think yeah, they know it. They know it. They're just taking a drip pick, but they're gonna get sniped in the middle of it. Oblivion coming up clutch with a Triton Cup 48 victory. Zero games lost.
Absolutely incredible run to go an entire tournament without having to drop a game. Oblivionion has done it all. Just clean victories tonight. Unlike my mouth.
That's not coming out on 20XX.
No. Congratulations to Oblivionion, and also congratulations to the food for their second place victory. Do we know who walked away with third, Gene?
Yes, we do, because we saw them as double elim. So third place.
Oh, that's right. It was
Quarter-Finals.
Chem.
Yeah, chemistry.
And congratulations to Kara and Cam for your 3rd place dub in Triton Cup 48. We will see you once again in 2 weeks, but more importantly, for at least this weekend, Genie, where can you find us on Sunday?
Yeah, I don't know if anyone knows, but Dapple's hosting a major tournament tomorrow at 1 p.m. EST. Everybody be there. It's going to be also 1 p.m. on Sunday, same time, same place. We've got prelims on Saturday, and then grands and the whole rest of Alpha Bracket on stream for you on day 2. And I think Skep's got an update where we're going to be for that time.
So, 20XX? The second half of our lovely day 2, you can find me and Genie wrapping up the tournament all the way through grand finals here on Dapple Productions. I'm so excited for it, Genie.
Yes.
We've been working so hard on it. I'm sorry, I just can't get over it. Genie and I have commentated 15 tournaments in the past month and a half to prepare. So really been hammering things out, and I'm so excited to just give it the good old-fashioned college try on Sunday and do our best. And I can't wait to see who we end up casting. Honestly, it's gonna be so exciting.
I can tell you Starburst is playing in it right now, and there's a lot of other super strong teams that will be there. And on day 1, we've got tons and tons of teams that we will definitely love to see. Lots of rivalries of all different matchups and all different skill levels. But we'll see. Because Starburst, as long as Kings don't show up, Starburst are the ones to beat.
Alright, well without any further ado, I'm sure that our lovely streamer Kim would like to get some sleep. I would like to get some rest. Genie, where can the good people find you?
The lovely people can find me at Genie7 on Twitter and Twitch. That is GEENIE7. Underscore on Twitter, no underscore on Twitch and all other socials. But yeah, watch 20XX. Watch it. We've got so many things to show you.
And you can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok. Skepidalians as seen in the bottom corner of the screen. Without further ado, I hope you all have a lovely night. Thank you for tuning in to Triton Cup 48, and stay fresh.